are live coming to you on Friday. We are the On-Chain Music Cabal. You know we cabalin' here with my friends Dope Stilo and surprise, Ricto Rula.
What up? What
GodCloud is
up?
going to be joining us, and I'm looking forward to talking with these guys. We're going to have a really great conversation today, talking about live experiences because sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, huh?
Hmm.
And you're always glad you came, huh? So that's what we're creating. That's what we're creating. We want to take on chain musicians and bring them mainstream. We want to take on chain musicians and bring us mainstream. So today we're talking about how can we deliver that peak experience. We're looking at what worked, what hasn't worked, and we're envisioning a future that's unlike anything you've ever seen or experienced before. Let me introduce my friends and co-hosts, Dope Stilo and Rick Derula. Go ahead, Dope Stilo, and tell the people about yourself and who you are.
Hey guys, what's up? Honored to be here. Thank you, Maxximillian. Great to be here. Thank you, Rick. My name's Stilo. I am using new frontiers of the 3D internet in like virtual spaces to throw like immersive virtual reality concerts, and I've created some NFTs on the blockchain that uh, marry with each other to be used to create a digital ecosystem for myself. So we do Super Wednesdays every week, 139 weeks in a row coming up, and it's every Wednesday, 2 p.m. EST.
Yeah.
I love your shows, Dope Stilo. It's
Thank
really
you.
fun coming to your spaces and experiencing the vibes, the vibes. You got to check out Dope Stilo's place. I mean, he's got helicopters, he's got yachts, he's got just everything, everything. See, Rick knows what's up. He knows what's up.
Exactly. Exactly.
And without further ado, let us introduce our friend Rick Derula.
What up? What up, everyone? Thank you. Thank you for this platform and this opportunity. Yeah, no, big up to Dope Stilo. His events are life changing. Right? It's all about self expression, and that's a good segue to me. Rick the Ruler. I create content on the internet web. I also operate under Hype 3ware. We're a firm all about removing friction and trying to find ways to allow people to connect with Web3 without that learning curve. So think of us as just removing friction everywhere we find it.
That's really exciting. Now, I think you said something about your merchandise is high tech. We tell us a bit about that.
Absolutely. So, part of the reason why I'm involved in making merch is for the value that it delivers. I've been in this space for a little while, and I found it hard to connect people that were not into technology with what I was doing. I was spending a lot of hours in chats and Twitter spaces, and couldn't really get my younger generation involved in my family and friends. Were kind of there's a disconnect. So our merch has an NFC chip in it that allows us to connect you to whether it's a space or in real world event or digital assets being delivered to you. Think of it just being more than just merch. It's a portal into Web3, and that's what we're building: little portals, one person at a time.
So, can you give us like a for instance? So, I was checking out your website, and hey, everybody, if you see this QR code on the screen right now, you can scan that and you can actually go right to Rick's page and check out his sustainable high tech merchandise. I was peeking around on there and I saw you got some really cute tees and stuff. So, for example, so let's say I'm on your site and I see some merch that I love, and let's say I get a tee or a hoodie. So, I'm wearing it. It has an NFC chip. What happens? How do I engage with that? How do I share that with people?
Great question. Great question. So you buy a piece of merch, and initially it will come with an AR installation. What that means is you can scan the merch. There's an area of the merch that's clearly designated for you to scan. You hold your device that has an NFC antenna. Most smartphones have them now. If you hold it within 3 inches of that area, your phone will activate an action. Typically, we select that action to take you to a website where you have access to AR filters, right? So usually the image on your shirt can be projected as a AR mural. So think of not vandalizing people's properties, but tagging the image that you're wearing on a wall in your town, right? And that's geotagged to that area. So anyone wearing the same merch can see it, right? So you can share your art that way without disturbing IRL, but over juxtaposing it in AR. So that's one utility. You could also, if you're a content creator, use some of the facial filters to create content, right? So if it's an image that you're really attached to, it belongs in the world. It belongs where people can see it and not in your wallet. And that's part of the motivator behind the merch, is to start taking the beautiful art you're collecting or creating out of the digital realm and juxtaposing it over the real world. So that's one utility. But if you're a project, you might use it for something totally different, right? You might use it to send your members the coordinates of a private meetup, or
Ooh.
right, or you might send it for an exclusive remix that you want your holders only to get, right? You might deliver that frictionlessly to them instead of saying go to the site and buy it and put it in your wallet. And no, scan your shirt and you got the song playing and you can share it with your friends.
Yo, this is amazing. Okay, so now I have more questions even though. So, okay, seriously, look, you're not even gonna believe this. Let me see if I can show you guys something, all right? Let's see, let's see. I got this new system set up, but I actually have designed some shirts for my album that's coming out. Okay.
Oh,
And I'll show you this little one. Let's see if I can bring it up here. I was experimenting with this earlier. Let's see if I can make it happen smooth. Let's see. Uh-oh, here it goes. I think. Let's see what happens.
Lights off, fashion,
nice.
feel the vibe, dance for magic, come alive.
I don't know. Can you see this
Yeah.
without?
We saw it. We
Lights
see it.
off,
Okay,
fashion,
cool.
feel the vibe, dance
So
for
this is a
magic,
shirt.
come alive.
Thank you. So this is one
Beautiful.
shirt. Thank you.
It,
So
it,
so
is that the track
basically,
too?
yeah,
Wow, it sounds
a little.
hot.
Oh, Stilo. There's some room on there if you want a verse. You want a
Nice.
verse on there?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Nice,
Wow.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
Sing that
I love
over.
that song. It gets people so hype. I mean, like I gave that song a little teaser. I got some family out Minnesota way. Minnesota keeps it popping. Minneapolis keeps it popping. They keep it crack-a-lackling. Anyway, I tested that song with my cousins and they loved it. So and they won't gas me if it's not all that. They'll be like, all right, cuz you're doing your thing. But they really liked it. So I'm excited. But for so there's three songs that I know is going on out first. And what I did is I have the album cover. And what I did is I made a hand drawn doodle that represents the album cover. And when you put the augmented reality app over the doodle, the album cover becomes and the music starts playing.
Whoa.
Dope, dope.
I think so, except for there's one problem, Rick, that you've just solved. The problem is that so for everyone who doesn't know, my name is Maxximillian. I'm an artist and a musician. And I'm also a huge technophile. And I also keep it real. I keep it super real because as much as I love technology, these technologies aren't perfect and there's drawbacks and sometimes there's things we need to work around. And I feel like I'm not disparaging any platform by pointing out the things that we need to work around. And so for my t-shirt idea, like it's almost perfect. The almost part is the person has to have the augmented reality application on their phone to appreciate it. This is a
Hmm.
problem.
Yeah.
It's a real problem. So your NFC chip would be a much better solution.
You there?
There we go. I think I lost audio.
Me too. We can't hear you, Maximilian. Rick, can you hear?
I can hear you. I can't hear her, unfortunately.
Nope, nope. No audio. You're there, right, Rick?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Cool. Ooh.
But as Maxximillian worked through this, to kind of move our flow, I think what she was touching on and what you are touching on in big time and spatial is creating these experiences that engage the senses.
Mhm.
Right? It's all about like finding ways to engage more than just the visual or more than just the auditory or more than, it's creating experiences that are fully fleshed out and as close to in real world as we can get them. And I think, for example, like hopping into Super Wednesday, I get to socialize, I get to build community with people that are across the world that I might or might not see again. And the more of these experiences we have together where we heard Dope Stilo's music and we saw the same painting on the wall and we all, heard that joke or that awkward moment or, all the little things that happen create these unforgettable experiences. And what I love about this space and both of you guys as creators, we're not just creating products. We're really focused in on the experience that these products will yield. And I feel like that's the biggest value add that differentiate us a little bit. A lot of companies build or a lot of creators build with the intent of selling a product. I'm actually trying to craft an experience that then might lead you to want a memorabilia. And that's what my product is. It's memorabilia from an experience. Does that make
That's
sense?
dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh,
I
I
feel the
get like
same way.
PTSD, like, GodCloud, I'm so glad you made it, brother. How you doing, man? I see you still getting set up there. GodCloud has joined us in the house. Thank you so much, Rick, for stepping in and talking while I got myself sorted out. And I love what you're saying about creating experiences. That's exactly what we're up to. GodCloud, are you with us yet?
Yo, can
Yay!
y'all hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
What's good?
Yeah, let me catch you up. So, what we're talking about today is we're talking about what makes a great, memorable live experience. Just for context, you and Rick will be part of. See how I'm just getting these verbal contracts, Stilo, on the fly. You and Rick will be will be part of our event in February, our live event in Los Angeles. So we're masterminding this. What's going to make a memorable experience? And so we started off talking about Rick's got this amazing merchandise. It's got the NFC chipped merchandise so that, when he comes to the event and he's got this beautiful augmented reality merchandise, people that are there and they want to extend and have some memorabilia from this experience, it's got an NFC chip and it can, you know, we're talking about all the different things it can do. So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that's dope.
Maxximillian was talking about her single and the AR shirt and the shirt that's activated in augmented reality.
Mhm.
yeah,
Super
and the
dope.
problem with that being that the problem with the augmented reality clothing is that it requires the people that you want to share it with to also have this app. You
Hmm.
know, the only people that I know walking around with augmented reality apps on their phone is artists. The common everyday
Right.
person doesn't necessarily have that, and it's a if you're trying to catch people as they're walking by and you're trying to catch people in the flow in the conversation, hey, download this app does not jive with that at all. So
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That's super dope. But I think, basically my answer, I don't know if this has been said yet, but what makes
huh.
a memorable live performance for me, and this goes across the board from when I was doing wrestling to when I was playing shows and everything, but it's about getting the audience to feel like they're part of it as well, and you were talking about last time how you as an artist, like, like kind of do your artist duties at an event, at a show, and making the crowd feel like, kind of giving them a taste of that makes them feel like, oh, wow, I could always think of this shit when I was wrestling, right? Because I was a bad guy for a lot of the time when I was wrestling, right? And something
What
that
do you
I
mean?
would do.
You're still a bad guy.
Well, I'm not nearly as dastardly as I used to be. I'm not like blowing snot rockets into the crowd anymore. Yeah. But one thing that I do is I would like kind of go to the outside and try to like get up where I knew like some people were really like heckling and hating on me the most, especially like the younger kids, right? And get them to like hold me down while the good guy would like light me up, and they would lose it. They would be like, I would see them turn to their parents like, yo, look at like you see that? Like we got that son of a bitch, you know what I mean? And even with like with music too, getting the crowd to be like, hey, on this part, do this or whatever, like, oh, hey, like I hear you're doing it. Like, all right, now how about y'all? Like, oh yeah, see you guys doing it over there, making people feel like they're a part of it will definitely make it more memorable, because they're gonna go tell those stories. They're gonna be like, yo, homie did, because I'm still telling the story about when Deftones came to town and Cheeto fucking pointed at me because I was singing the breakdown to Diamond Eyes. He pointed at me. I swear to God, he pointed at me. That made my whole fucking life, so yeah, and I think that these augmented reality things, NFC chips, even though, like you said, they have to get the app, that's just gonna make people want to get that much more involved, I'd feel. But I think that maybe if there was a way to combine like the ticket or the merch all together in one thing, so if you're getting the ticket, you can get it through the same app that you can get the augmented reality experience with, that might clean that up a bit. Because I definitely hear what you're saying, being like, oh, hey, buy this stuff. Oh, by the way, get this app so you can really get the full experiences. And, that's something that we all kind of have to deal with, is like Web3 people, where most of the time other Web3 people are also other artists, like I don't really meet a lot of people who are just into Web3 and who aren't also doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just feel like I just said a million things, but
No, I love it.
Glad
you
to
like
be here.
Cabal and other Cabal. Well, GodCloud, tell the people who you are. Go ahead and tell us who you are, and don't leave anything out, brother.
Very okay. So I'm thirsty. Hold on. Fucking hot out today, but yeah, I'm GodCloud, multi-instrumentalist, producer, first finger drummer on the Ethereum blockchain. Did that in March of 2020. Then A-Rap Music came in April. I'm sorry, I'm about to go through the history of all the finger drummers that I know and when they dropped. Sorry for being a fucking nerd. But yeah, ex pro wrestler, currently doing commentary for Ground Zero Wrestling, ex chef too. Yeah, doing a lot of cool shit. CTO at Malas Palabras Records. And yeah, that's kind of, I could go on, but that's me. That's who I am. That's what I'm doing right now.
Right on. And we love Malas Palabras Records. Yo, GodCloud, I'm still hoping that we can do an episode completely dedicated to that technology, because I think that wallet is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and we are revamping a lot of things right now. So when it's ready, I'll let you know, because we're dabbling into some new things. I think I mentioned some of my other partnerships. Ultimately, this is all going to come together, but I can't go in too deep into all of that quite yet. But just wait, because it's going to be some fucking smoke.
Oh, I'm ready. Got the carrots dangling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so last time we were together, GodCloud also, he had this really great idea. He was sharing something from wrestling times about the loudness meter. We were talking about how to make the crowd feel engaged, and this idea about like, this has happened to me too, and it's always fun, like this side against this side and who can shout the loudest, right? So this kind of like audience engagement, thinking about February and our event, what are some engagements that we could do, for our crowd. The things that I thought of so far was like one thing that I love is I love being able to have like a special photograph. So one thing I know for sure is, we want to have like a portrait photographer there so that you can have like a really nice like image of yourself, and maybe that could be like some augmented reality photography experience that a person could have of themselves. But what other things, like what would light you up? I love GodCloud's idea about the the ticket is the app is the merchandise. Is that what you're saying? Like you buy your digital ticket, and that ticket when you go to the event also give is your claim for like your t-shirt or your whatever you're getting.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of what we were doing with Malas, because like the app, you have to get the app to get the tickets, and within there we had all the other perks and type things and whatnot. The only thing that we didn't have at the time was an augmented reality capability, and I'm probably like letting shit slip right now, and I just said I was going to talk about it.
Well, we wouldn't know
Fuck,
if you hadn't
whatever.
said that.
I know, I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm gonna be fired. But no, like I think that, yeah, something along those lines, because that would be super dope, you know what I mean? And all the stuff is right in there, it's accessible, you've already got it. So there's no need to do the Web3 kind of dance, which is like the innovation is really just more hoops to jump through. You feel me? I feel like that happens a lot in Web3, you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, it does. Rick,
100%.
do you have an app already?
I'm developing an app, but right now it's mostly web based because my reluctance to build apps is that it's yet another friction point potentially where
Yes, and
people
then
will have
Apple
to
wants
download
30%.
something or learn something. So making things more web based where everyone knows how to get to a website, right? So I'd rather drive people to a site and then deliver utility there because it might limit us on the cool stuff we could potentially do, but then it makes it a lot more accessible. And so a lot of my stuff is driven from a website, and then you click on a link that takes you into something.
Agreed. I love this. Also, there's this thing about Apple and their 30% take on whatever you're selling has been an area of contention as well for even digital creators. You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
I'd like to touch on that point. Like I was creating a lot of content using Meta Studio, right? And I got to thinking like, one of my ethos is being decentralized and I'm a Web3 nerd, but yet all my work is centralized on one platform. What happens if Mark decides the metaverse is no longer worth it?
He already decided the metaverse was no longer worth it.
Exactly. Exactly. And what happens if they sunset these systems? So
They will.
that's why I'm learning web AR. I'm diving really deep into that where I can drive all of my AR activations from the web and I can own it, right? And it's decentralized. The web in its very nature is somewhat decentralized, and we can added things to that. But you guys are feeling me what I'm saying? It's we do so much
Oh yeah.
creating on these platforms that we don't own and don't control that that fear motivates me to go learn things that end up taking all my free time, but I digressed.
How do we feel about the blockchain? I love the idea of like, if you can drive to your traffic and then use the blockchain to make everything light up around your platform, your main platform. It's just like I keep talking about Twitter and PFPs and the blockchain, and like everyone used the blockchain to use the PFPs and like have their what they represented and what community they were a part of. It's like if you can, as an artist, use the blockchain to where you can create your own smart contract and keep 100% of everything and have royalties for every in-game asset. If you're using a metaverse, if you're using an AR component, it'd be really nice to that is the for me that's like the home run, the honey pot, the rainbow at the end of the field. It's if I can sell digital merchandise, digital songs, tracks to be used in the metaverses or in AR on your phone, etc., that would be just like the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it's still see the thing about it is that we still are beholden to the UX. We need that front end so that people can access, your assets and see whatever it is that you've got going on. I keep coming back to this as I massage these pain points, and I feel like the solution is an aggregate DEX for merchandise and for music. I started launching my record label, and it's taken so many twists and turns because just like what you're talking about, Rick, it's because of the platforms. Like I started off my initial like infrastructure for my record label, including a platform that I then had to exclude because they changed their business model right in the middle of my build. And that really was like really disappointing. And so and then I also think of like our friend GodCloud, who's, his first album, it kind of disappeared because the marketplace shut down. And so, I'm imagining like a DEX that is an aggregate. So Stilo, myself, you, GodCloud could log in and like use the blockchain to pull in the data from all the different places into one place. So it's actually not really centralized, but it gives a centralized experience for the user.
Yeah.
Third Web makes that really possible. I've been diving into Third Web and the NFT marketplace code template that they gave you. It's super dope. Like, man, like to have a marketplace on your website for me, that's been a goal for the last like 2 years. And as the sentiment for like tokens has gone down, like digital collectibles on the blockchain NFTs,
Mhm.
uh, it just kind of I didn't really follow through, but it's very interesting. And then it's like, what blockchain do you want your marketplace to? It would be so nice if your marketplace ran on like a Polygon like gas, like where it's just so cheap. But Ethereum's where like a lot of really big things happen.
Mhm.
Oh, well, let me give you some Galfa. So, we love Ethereum because it was definitely a grail, but Ethereum is experiencing a technology deficit. And I don't know if you've seen how Vitalik's been dumping ETH. Have you seen
Mhm.
that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Vitalik dumping ETH like crazy.
Yeah, he has been.
And the place right now, in my opinion, because I'm super based, base is the place to be building right now. I feel
Mhm.
there's a lot of innovation and sentiment over there. There's like a lot of energy. There's a lot of grants and opportunities to build on base.
Is that
So,
Coinbase?
Mhm.
Okay.
I
well,
think so.
yeah, but it's like the decentralized arm of Coinbase, if that makes sense. It's its own
Okay.
brand. Yeah, it's its own brand, and it is phenomenal. I joined the Base Build-a-thon on-chain summer. They have so many opportunities, engagements, activations, education, but most importantly, vibes and support as you're building. It's
Mhm.
so super cheap. Everything is cheap to deploy smart contracts. I mean, it's costing you fractions of a penny. There's a lot of utility there. So I would say like that's the place where I'm building everything. But also like I've had a lot of personal experiences. Like I went there in Miami and I moderated a talk there during Art Basel. And so I got to meet Jesse, the founder. I've met some of the team, and like so I'm really super based because I feel like I know the family over there, and the energy, the sentiment, it goes to the core. So I would say that's definitely a place. And the reason why I mention it is because it's a lot cheaper than Ethereum, and people are collecting there. It's not like a year ago where if it wasn't on Ethereum, people didn't want it.
Yeah.
Something to consider.
Yeah, base has been really impressive too. Did I tell you about the
Yeah.
meme coin thing? What's it called? Hype that I been fucking with. And by I guess fucking with I mean beta testing with some homies. But no, it's pretty dope, and it's like a meme coin, and they're all on base like a meme coin Dex like tracker and all this type of stuff. But
Mhm.
I was really impressed with how quick and how fast things were moving over there. Because even with Polygon was everybody's saying, "Oh, Polygon's so great," but Polygon was a freaking headache back in the day.
Yeah.
Like once you got in, and stacked up some Matic, it was cool. But for somebody being if the draw is like, hey, you sick of spending all this money on ETH, come over here. And for you to get in, you have to spend a bunch of money to swap stuff and then to get moving. It's like, well, what's the freaking point, you know?
Ooh.
So
So
base,
much friction.
I did not see that happen on base. I got,
Mhm.
you know, I'm just testing things out, moved like $40 in to see, you know, see what was going on, and didn't lose it. My $40 didn't turn into like $13 just from moving it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
base is cool. I like base. I really do like base.
Third Web
Yeah,
does allow base integration.
very
Yes,
cool.
absolutely.
Very
Third Web
cool.
was
NFT.
one of the partners for the on-chain build-a-thon. And furthermore, Base has this amazing smart wallet. It's absolutely gorgeous. I feel this is the mainstream uh, uh, carrot stick that we've been waiting for,
Mhm.
because it creates a wallet just right away. Now, when I first started hearing about these like instant wallet creations, I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of it because I felt like it was really important to educate people so people understand how these things work. But most mainstream people, they're not used to all this like being in control of this all this security and et cetera. So I feel like the Coinbase smart wallet combined with, for example, Rick, your NFC experience, that's the ticket for someone who doesn't have any crypto. They don't have a wallet. That wallet by Coinbase is amazing because you can
Is
take
it
money
available?
direct. Yeah, absolutely. It's called Wallet. This is really important. It's called Wallet because there's two Coinbase apps. One of them is a C
Oh
for
yeah.
Coinbase. Not
Mhm.
the one. You want the one that has a circle with a dot in the middle, and it's called Wallet. And it's so great. It allows you to very easily load up your wallet, and
Hmm.
it's like boom, 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 super seamless. I
Yeah,
wanted to ask you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I've been meaning to hop onto base myself. I've been over there on Solana, playing pretty hard since 2022. But I'm realizing that I need to be like chain agnostic and stop being so tribal. So hearing you guys talk about it, I need to hop in there and learn a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Let me share. So like the places where I would say like you can really like integrate yourself. Are you on Warpcast?
Yeah, I am. I
Oh,
am.
sweet. I'm gonna follow you. uh, yeah, if you go to the connect on base, if you're on Warpcast, like look at the channel called Base Builders or just anything with base, and you'll see there's builder channels, there's the base channel. These channels are really great for finding out what's going on. There might even be still an on-chain summer channel, but any of those builder channels is gonna like get you looped in immediately. You'll be at the sleepover before you know it.
Dope,
But
dope.
I wanted to ask you a question, Rick, about your augmented reality experience. So you said it's web-based.
Hmm.
So does that mean that it works on Safari? So like, how does someone experience the augmented reality part?
Yeah, good question. So, WebAR allows you to code in AR projections, mostly using Google. Google has an AR plugin for browsers that if I set up like a like a facial animation, right, like a face filter, I can have that project straight from my website. So, for example, if I did a collab with Stilo recently, big up to that, to kind of empower his community. And there's a T-shirt and a hoodie available on my site. Both of them are right behind Stilo, right there.
And I'm wearing it.
Exactly. We're in the drip as we speak, which next week I
Oh,
gotta have my digital drip on too. But that product, if you go on my website, you can project and see that hoodie right in front of you, right? And manipulate it, and you're not hopping into any apps. You're straight from my website, directly projecting through your camera on your phone or iPad, right? So that's using WebAR. It's a way to move away from any specific app, and just if you have a browser and your browser has the plugin, which most mobile browsers have it, is just not being used right now. I'm commandeering it for my purposes. So you can kind of see it in action on the site now if you go to either the t-shirt or the hoodie.
right on. Let me see if I can leave this up here.
And it
Ah!
and it's amazing. It's great. I wear it and I'll just meet somebody and I'll tap my sweater right here, and it'll open up spatial, and then we tagged the shirt to open up the YouTube. So like if you're going to the concert, on your desktop or VR, you could wear it, and it'll open up the live stream on your phone if you're away, if you're on a vacation or something.
Mhm.
And it's just really cool. It makes the shirt really come alive. That merch comes alive every Wednesday.
Exactly. Exactly. And to piggyback on your point and to kind of circle it back to what we're talking about, the event, think of an event where there's an AR activation as part of it, right? So everyone comes into the event. The folks that are holders of Stilo's hoodie might have another element to that event for them, right? Where we say, hey, for the next week, whoever can tag this 3D asset all over town, we have a reward for you. So now there's like a scavenger hunt engagement type of thing that goes on after the event, creating an even more memorable experience, right? Because it's not over when the lights come off if everyone goes home. There's the whole scavenger hunt related to this event. So for a whole week after you were there physically, you're still walking around the real world doing stuff related to that event, right? And the creators are able to deliver assets to you and engage you. And there's like that reciprocal energy flow going on, right? That's what I mean by removing friction, is extending the amount of time the energy circles back and forth.
So could you unpack this experience for the person? So we got someone who's coming to our event. They got their NFT ticket. Their ticket is their merchandise. They show up at our event. They claim their NFC chip merchandise from Rick the Rula. They have an amazing experience at the event. Now the event is over. How do they geotag? What exactly do they have to do?
Good question. Good question. So we send them, they're wearing the merch the Monday after or the week after, and we drop a post on Twitter saying, scan your shirt today and you'll get access to this specific avatar or this specific 3D asset. And as a challenge for the next 3 days, let's tag it all over town, right? So now everyone with the merch can go to the site, project the asset. They can create content, right? Take pictures, video, whatever they'd like to do with the asset. But then we can track where they're posting these things on a map, right? And we could leverage, if we want to go even a step further, we can leverage tagging it, geotagging it all over town, where anyone with that merch can log in and see where previous tags were made, and they would see the asset there. So I can say, I want to see how many dope Stilo hoodies have been tagged all over town. Get in my car and I'd see on a map where they're all at. I'd pull up and I'd see it. I can take pictures and create content there. It's almost like a digital scavenger hunt, right? And it's a way. So then tomorrow, after the scavenger hunt is done, I say, as a surprise to everyone, we have a new remix that we're going to roll out. So scan today and get the MP3 and share it around town. Onboard more people to Dope Stilo's music. And then a month later, we decide now your shirt is your compass to our next IRL event, and scan it today and it will give you the GPS location for our event. So instead of getting lost around town, I don't know if you guys have been to IRL Web3 events. There's usually a little friction in finding where everything's at. None of that. There's an exact geotag location where everyone can meet up and vibe out.
This is amazing. So this NFC chip is providing a dynamic experience. It's not a situation where someone can only program one URL. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. Instead of having the Otis be on the person within close proximity to tag and encode it, we can do it remotely, and we can change what each chip does. So we can say, if you're a holder of the T-shirt, you get this song, but if you're a holder of the hoodie, you get this song or you get this experience.
That's perfect because, like I was sharing my t-shirts earlier, I have 3 different designs and each design represents a different song.
Exactly. So now you
So
can
for
tag a song to a design.
Yeah, so for example, so here's another question for you. So what about a creator like myself, right? I have these t-shirts that I've designed. Is it possible for someone like me to partner with you? with my designs and your technology?
Great question. Great question. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I do take my time to get to know you and understand your motivations and how we align. Because, when doing that kind of work, there has to be some genuine alignment. So we spend a little time there. But once that is answered, once I see a vision where we commonly build and lift each other, absolutely. A matter of fact, I think that's more of a driver for us than doing it ourselves. We're really a voice to amplify others because there's so many talented artists out there
Yes.
that we see more of ourselves as a bridge to magnify those voices.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So curious, everyone, when you come to a live event, like what kind of merchandise can you imagine that you'd really, really want? Like what could it be for you? And I mean like be specific. So like I'll go first. For myself, right? I don't really wear t-shirts. I'll be straight up with you. I'm not a t-shirt gal. I definitely don't wear any hoodies, right? So for me, I'm like, there's nothing for me to buy over here,
A
right?
hat?
Yeah, there's hats. Yeah, I have hats, but
Hat,
I get
okay.
where you're
I
coming
like
from.
hats.
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to cover up all this purple, man. So I'm saying, like, so for me, I'll just share a couple of things. So for me, like dog tags might be cool, some type of jewelry, headphones, like some type of special headphones. Like I'm just wondering, like, are there some new kinds of merchandise that maybe could happen that's not a T-shirt that this NFC chip technology could still work with, or what are your thoughts?
Um, I don't want to steal the spotlight, but 100%. I'm like I'm about to burst here because yeah,
Come on,
absolutely,
come on.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Part of the work we did was encapsulating NFC chips in a couple of layers of acrylic, making them safe to wash for hundreds of times, but also making them small enough where we can embed them in almost anything. Right.
Okay.
So clothing was the first chapter, but other RWAs are soon to come. So toys can be embedded with them, records can be embedded with them, jewelry can be
Oh,
embedded with them, everything. I
oh
mean, in the
gosh.
world of you know Internet of Things, NFC chips will be used everywhere. Matter of fact, they are already, right? High-end brands are already using them for authentication, for tracking purposes. Your Louis Vuitton bag has an NFC chip in it. You just don't it's probably locked where you can't read it, and at the store, though, they have a reader that can pick up on whether or not this is a real Louis Vuitton bag, right? So that's the utility they're using it for. But in Web3, we can use this tech to deliver our value and our assets.
This is cool because, like, I'm thinking like GodCloud, right? So, like, I keep thinking of the February event, and I love GodCloud's live drumming, finger drumming performances. I hope that we have a budget large enough to be able to afford GodCloud to come and perform. And I'm thinking, what I would love for my collectible to be from GodCloud, because my vision is for every artist who performs, that there should be a collectible to represent them. So when you go, if you love that DJ, you love DJ Paper, Papel, you want to get, his mix, there should be a merchandise so you can take that home. It should be NFC chipped, from Rick the Rula, from GodCloud. Now, from GodCloud, I'm a musician, and I would love to download GodCloud sample packs, right? So I'm thinking, it would be cool for me to be able to take home something that's chipped and it gets me to his sample packs, or something like that. So I love the idea of toys. I know GodCloud is hugely into toys. So like if there could be a GodCloud toy, right? That really that really aligns with him.
Yeah,
GodCloud,
I
how
see
would
the
you,
drip.
right? So GodCloud, yeah, like how would you partner with Rick Derula? Like what would your ideal, collectible be for an event like this? It's a live event. This collectible is going to represent you. It can be a small run because, special. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So So I've had this idea for a long fucking time, right? And it's something that I've been wanting to do. I wanted to make these like little, like, you know, like they don't have to be necessarily functional because I know that that's a lot of work in itself. But maybe, you know, probably about like that big or so. Here, maybe about as big as like a cassette tape, maybe even half that size. But these little like kind of drum machine looking plastic things, right? That play parts of a song or something like that, you know? And I tell you what gave me this idea. My kid has got these things called Linkimals, right? And these are the coolest fucking toys, right? Like, I'm like, baby, you getting all these shits. Like, you want all the Linkimals? Like, yo, I don't give a shit. Like, yo, we gonna get you some. Yo, grandma, your other grandma gonna get you some. We getting you all these Linkimals, but they're the coolest shit, right? So they're all these little different animals, but when you put them together and you turn one of them on, they all kick on and start singing. And like, you know, so one's doing the baritone, one's doing the bass, one's doing the man. They all start singing they're like, hello, friends, how are you today? It's pop. But they all start singing together. The lights are going on all together. And I'm like, that's so fucking fly. How cool would it be to make a bunch of different little those things, take my loops and everything, you can put them together. Once you have whichever ones and they work together in certain proximity, you know, they will play you a little jam, something to have up on, you know, up on your shelf next to all your Dragon Ball toys. You turn it on, show your homies like, yo, look at this shit. This shit goes wild, you know? And I wanted to do that and have it connected to, you know, to an NFT, to something that I'm, you know, a collectible that I'm selling. But obviously got sidetracked doing a bunch of other things. But that's something that I would like to do. Maybe like a little cassette that plays music like itself. That's like a little mock cassette. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's one of the ideas that I'd have. And also too, what's got me tripping was TikTok. They have their little marketplace situation now where you can sell stuff on TikTok, right? So people have been asking me like, oh, you selling your samples here? And I'm like, well, no, but you can go to my website. And that got me thinking like, why am I not selling them here also? So I went through the process to get set up, but they're like, well, what is it? Is it a CD or is it a what? They don't give you the option for digital downloads. So then that got me thinking, shit, I'm going to have to get some discs, you know, just like I've gotten albums pressed in the past, but just with my loop packs, you know, just so
Nobody
I can sell
has
them.
a disc player anymore.
No, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Look, the Mac that I bought even like 3 years ago doesn't have a disc
doesn't have
player.
one. Right.
Exactly.
That's why I keep my old joint. I keep my old, but this is my 2015, or I keep this shit because of that. So I gotta pop some CDs in sometimes and extract shit. You know, I keep this. I still love this thing for the fucking sake of CDs and shit, you know. But that's the thing, you know. Like, well, if that's not the case, then do I do USB drives? But they're getting rid of those shits too.
I don't have that either. My Mac doesn't have that either.
They are.
You know, when I went to ETH Denver, I did a live interview, a live panel, and the tech guy gave me the recording on a drive, and I looked at it and I was like, what am I doing with this? I had to like, you know, get a hub.
Yeah, I don't have any USB-A ports.
Yeah, exactly. And so, so this is why I feel like, you know, Rick's solution is really what we all need, because we're going to need the NFC chip just to play media so that it's really, you know.
Yeah. And to build on that point and to touch on what you're saying too, GodCloud, like then CDs had a functionality, right? And they needed to look a certain way. They needed to be circular, have that, you know, layer of data, silicone, I'm sorry, where you can embed the data. They had to look a certain way. The case carrying the CD had to be square, right? Because it had to be mass produced. Using NFC chips allows us to be free in the materials we use to get in the hands of someone. Right. So think of textures. We can play with colors, textures, you know, so we can move away from this, you know, linear CD format and hand them almost anything. and that becomes the medium that has the chip in it, and you can deliver your digital
Mm-hmm.
asset.
Yep.
So I feel like NFC chips frees us in the type of product. For me, when I go and consume now, I care about the packaging, right? That's part of the
Yeah.
experience for me. What kind of texture did they use to deliver this shirt, right? What, all those little choices show me the curation that went into the product. And the consumer now is so sophisticated that they do care, right? They do care what thought went into all this. And again, I feel like this tech allows us to really blow their minds and not deliver something that they've seen before.
Absolutely. I just thought about something too. So I'm looking at my notes here. I'm all about creating unforgettable experiences, and one of the things that I was thinking about in terms of ticketing is this is based on a conversation that I had on Twitter with my friend artist Dolores. Shout out to Dolores Krajnek, one of my fellow Pepe curated artists by Beeple this year. What up, Dolores? So I was telling her about our show in February, and she said her favorite place to sit is front row center, right? And so I'm like, oh, this is something that we could, this could be a choice. Like when you're buying your ticket, it could be like, where are you going to sit? Maybe there could be a ticket for front, for center, or people like to sit in the front or whatever like this. And so I was wondering, like, with this dynamic, NFC chip, I know that you said it can change. Can it also deliver like information? Like, is the programming like instant? I'm just curious, like, what, how practical it could be, maybe for even directing someone inside the event. Is it possible?
Great question. Great question. A lot of it is still using GPS, which
Okay.
GPS is really good for directing you from one place to another. But when you get within enclosed spaces, it's only accurate within like 3 feet, right? So I'm sorry, not 3 feet. Was it
20.
$3 meters or
Yeah.
20? Yeah, I can't remember what the right now. It
Right.
escapes me, but it's not accurate enough for that. But there are companies out there like Over the Reality, for example, which I've recently been tapping into, that are using spatial video and spatial imaging, right? Where it's a lot more accurate and it's within like a couple feet away from where you're putting your dropping your pin. So I think we're not quite there yet, but we're within reach. And it's only going to take like a team of smart devs to just break that gap, right? I'm scratching
Yeah.
the surface, but I'm planning on recruiting other capable minds that are even better than me to crack that.
Well, what I'm wondering, thank you for your answer, by the way. What I'm wondering is it possible to include a little metadata that says your seat is 9C?
A hundred
Like,
percent. Oh, 100.
okay,
Oh, 100%.
okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I was really thinking is like, if your t-shirt is your merchandise, when you claim your ticket, it has your information, like your seat and everything. So it's like you kind of have like everything. That's what I was curious about.
You absolutely. Your shirt could be your ticket, and um, your wallet, your digital wallet, where assets can be dropped, whether it's on the blockchain, like Dope was suggesting. Absolutely, absolutely. And we're getting close enough where when you scan it, it might tell you, hey, this is exactly like walking directions to your exact spot in the stadium where you're supposed to stand. Let's say you have a ticket for the mosh pit. There's no labels, but you can use spatial imaging to designate a specific little hexagonal shape on the floor and then direct people to it. So we're getting really close to that. But yeah, you could turn, in essence, Dope Stilo's hoodies are tickets, right? They can be, and they're encrypted tickets. So they can be scanned at the door, giving you access to the concert. So it's changing the paradigm. Instead of showing up with an actual ticket or a badge, what you're wearing is your ticket, right? Or
Yeah.
your wallet is your ticket, or your keychain is your ticket, or whatever it is, or a collectible toy in GodCloud's case, right?
He loves that toy idea. We got to get that GodCloud toy.
I'm right there with you. I think it's a really dope idea, by the way. As I was listening to you describing it, it's a really good idea, and I think people would connect with that because there's so many toy collectors out there, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
think people are getting back to wanting physical stuff. Like, even throughout Web3, I never stopped collecting, you know, toys and shit. And if anything, any money that I was making from Web3, I was just, sending to Japan fucking immediately. But yeah, and using the tech to, it's something that we used to always like compare everything to, like, well, not everything, but what I would use as like an example of like blockchain technology already kind of being in play was with Rolex, how they have their database, connected to anytime you buy a Rolex watch, you get a card with it, and it has, it's already in a database, and that's how they keep track of the shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would always describe blockchain to people. Like, well, this is kind of a way that it's being used prior to what we're doing, but now we're just not using fancy watches. It's just like, shitty clip art. But yeah, I think now, especially for musicians and artists, as we get back to kind of getting away from the platforms, I feel like everybody's waking up saying like, well, sound's not really doing anything for me. OpenSea's not really doing anything for me. What's the next platform that's going to do anything for me? And I don't think it's that. It's whatever you create, and using yes, exactly, using the NFC chips in tandem with blockchain integrated websites and all that shit. That's what I'm about to really start getting after. I need GodCloud.org to be completely Web3 integrated to do what I want to do, and with the physical stuff, we're taking it back to selling out the trunk, but it's just more advanced and sophisticated now. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know what that rant was for, but yes.
No,
all
that's
that.
hot. Good
Nah,
GodCloud.
man, I was
I'll
with
tell
you.
you, I know what your rant was for. You just gave me a great idea. Just gave me a great idea. I got to give a shout out to my boy Sky Bravo, our man Sky Bravo. Sky Bravo has this amazing bus. It's gorgeous that he's renovated, and he takes it on tours around and stuff like that. And so you talked about selling out the trunk, and I'm like, oh, that gives me an idea, because Sky Bravo lives on the other side of the country to me, right? To LA, right? So what if he's coming to this show, and what if he's got a map and he's stopping in different cities on his way, delivering t-shirts that people have ordered or whatever. Like Sky Bravo say, okay, I'm going to stop at this place for a coffee break. I'm going to stop at this place, whatever. And people can come and meet up with Sky, for example, and take pictures with him, take pictures of the bus, because he's a creator of his own in his own right. So like, how cool would it be, like, leading up to an event like this, if not only our friends like Sky Bravo, but like other friends. I have a friend in New York who maybe has a shop. I'm thinking of my friend Z in Los Angeles, who has a beautiful shop downtown. What if our friends each became a satellite for the merchandise for this event that's happening in LA, so that people could, before the event, go and interact, get their merchandise, like, and have it when they show up, instead of just only getting it delivered to them? What if there was like these other opportunities to kind of connect and engage? So for example, what if there was an opportunity, like, oh, the Saturday before the show, there's this satellite, you can go pick up your thing, but if you do and you take your photo, you're engaging with the NFC chip, and maybe you're stacking stuff, so when you show up to the event, you get something special because you actually helped us promote before the event.
Absolutely. I'm clapping over here. I love hearing artists reconnect with what made, like, because we're in an era of nostalgia where everyone's kind of nostalgic for something, right? And we can't quite say what that something is. I think it's human connection. What you've just described, Maxximillian, is like a street team, right? Like
Yeah.
building a street team. And because technology empowered us so much, we moved away from the building blocks of real community. We're like, hey, if I have a website and I could just, you have to be multi-dimensional, right? And you are just unlocking another dimension that was there and is dormant now. You'll be shocked how many people are thirsting for that energy again, where, man, I like this music, and now there's a spot today in town that I can pull up, find other nerds that love this stuff, right? But yet find normies too, right? Our little silos. Sometimes it's just, I think we all touched on that, it's just people like us in there. But a street team, there'll be a random grandma walking by that'll be like, what is this music? Oh man, this is dope. I
Yeah.
can do this while I like, put my little lotion at night. And she's not gonna party, but seriously, like she needs it too, right? And this is a way she's gonna get that alpha without, or I think you called it galfa earlier.
Alpha, alpha from a gal,
Right,
alpha from a
she's
gal.
she's gonna plug into this. And it's easy to throw the word onboarding around and not talk about the work it would take to create that. Right, we have to create environments that if you don't know the tech and you don't necessarily care about it, you still care about human connection. So removing the friction points where people can connect immediately and then learn afterwards. Right. Because if they
Yes.
connect, they're hooked. They're going to come back. They're going to learn. They're going to vibe out. And it's an ongoing reciprocal energy flow. I know I'm sounding like really out there, but I really
I
believe
like
in
it.
that. And like, you have to create an open loop where people can deliver value to you. You can deliver value back. And that cycle keeps going as long as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and you
out
know
there.
what's funny that you say like the tech, and it's crazy because I think a lot of this stuff really started with COVID. COVID COVID forced everybody inside, but then the tech that popped up to kind of fill those gaps, that we ate that up. We're so used to that now, and I'll tell you what really tripped me out was a buddy of mine, another guy who was in the music scene here in Rochester. He shared a picture of all the like local CDs he's collected, through the years. But you could tell there was a point where there was a clear cutoff where you saw it like he even had one of my old joints in there too, which was fucking crazy. Like seeing he had this whole like table full of all these CDs, but you can see that it went from maybe like 2000 to I don't know, maybe like 2015, and then something happened there. Then COVID happened years later, but we like, and I was just looking at that shit like, damn man, remember I used to walk around handing out CDs? Like, remember
Yeah.
that? You don't do that no more. We're kind of doing this, doing a little bit of it through the spaces and through this, where where we're kind of busking, but in these on these social media apps and shit. But there
Here
was
we are.
nothing like handing out CDs and really meeting somebody and connecting that face to face, like
Yeah.
talking, discussing, and being like, yo, like, yeah, we vibe, like, yo, I'm playing at the Penny later. Come through. Like, okay, yeah, we'll be there. Da 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 da. It's just way different now. So bringing some of that back is key. Bringing that back, but with the blockchain backing it, that's the recipe. That's it. That's what we gotta, work towards.
Absolutely.
Right on.
There's
Right
two
on.
points I wanted to speak on, and also respecting your time, Stilo, Rick. I know you guys have hard stops coming up, so respecting that. But there's just two short points I wanted to bring up. Number one is I got this alpha from one of my mentors, and it was one of my music mentors. And he said something that was so interesting. At the time, it made me sad, and I immediately was like, nah, 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 son. But, I think he's right, actually. He said that, so the conversation was digital music, and he said that digital music is not valued, and it never can be because we're physical. Physical creatures highly value physical things because we are tangible and we crave tangible things.
That's
And
good.
he was not disparaging digital music. His number one motivation was helping us sell our digital music. And he said you have to package it in something physical so that physical people can perceive the value in this digital thing.
Oh man.
And
That, that's so
I did
good right there.
right. And I didn't want to believe it at the time, but I knew that he was speaking the truth. I know the truth when I hear it because I get the all over body shivers, you know. And he was saying, even if it's just a piece of paper or a little, it doesn't even matter. He goes, it can be a rock from your garden, but that physical thing, people need the physical thing. They'll value that over something that they can't touch. So that was point number one. Now, just remember that and push it to the side, right? So here's the other. I do this a lot. I cross things that don't seem related and I put them together because I'm a hacker and that's what we do, right? Uh, so the other thing is I have friends who I want to support, I want to highlight, but they're not necessarily musicians, right? Earlier I mentioned my friend Z. Now Z Hovac, she has a beautiful shop downtown Los Angeles. She's an artist and her shop, she sells her art, she has merchandise, it's all her stuff. I want to send people to her shop. I want to send people to her store. But what I learned is 80% or more of sales happen during an activation. So this idea of, and just by the way, like there's other friends I have too who have physical stores, right? So wouldn't it be lovely if, for example, us with this live event that we have, if we could involve our friends who are not in the music business by creating a global activation, right? What if I have a friend in Nigeria who has a shop? We could do this globally, right? Like all of our friends with physical places, even people. So here's a little a parallel. There's a type of wine called Beaujolais Nouveau. GodCloud probably knows about Beaujolais Nouveau. It's like a wine, and every year on the same day, all around the world at the same time, everybody opens the bottle and everyone tastes the wine from that year. It's a
I don't know
global.
about that.
No? Okay, look it
No,
up.
Mm.
not a big
Beaujolais
wine guy.
Nouveau. Yeah, so it's like it's a global happening. Like every year on the same day, at the same time, all around the world, everybody opens the bottle and has a little taste. Oh, and we do it every year, right? So it would be kind of like that, and it's such a fun vibe because. I mean, one year I was all alone, right? But I just chose any of the Beaujolais Nouveau parties streaming around the world, and suddenly I was there, you know?
Yeah,
So I would just love to recreate this experience for all of us, right?
yeah,
With our event. That would be pretty amazing.
absolutely. Oh my gosh, that was a dope. That was a dope. I went on the voyage with you, and I see how the two connect. I see how the two connect. I have to run, but I want to give you guys these parting words that I think relate to what you just shared and what you were talking about, God Cloud. Back in the day, this nostalgia I was talking about. Back in the day, when I bought CDs, I had a huge CD collection. One thing I noticed is every one of those CDs that I bought, whether they were good or I connected with them, I listened to every single track, right? Before I made my mind up on whether or not it was going into this folder or it was staying in the case, right? Because you had your folder, right, where your joints were, and then you had your collection. And I would listen to every single track. But now I have a lot more extensive music collection digitally, but I have beautiful bodies of work that I did not listen to every track. Having it only digital did devalue it, if I want to be honest with myself, on a certain level. And what we're talking about today is finding a road back to the point where the entirety of art is considered before we shelf it, because we have such a short attention span, and digital goods make it easy to devalue these things. Going back to physicals, bridging that gap is worth it, because we go back to people actually listen to every track and have an opinion about every track. You guys remember that when you'd get with people and they're like really
Yeah.
passionate about this, like, nah, that joint is fire. I don't care what you're saying. You might not have heard that song now,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Or 2 years later, like I have artists that 2 years after the album came out, I'm listening to, I'm like, yo, that joint is hot. I had it. I skipped, right? I maybe didn't give it a chance because there's so much content rolling out. And so, I don't want to be long winded, but I think you guys understand what I'm saying. Creating physicals allow people to stop and digest the content, right? And it's not as easy to just scroll away or click away when you
Yeah.
have something physical in your hand that you have to see again. Sure, you put the CD away, but it's gonna be on your desk tomorrow, right? I can make this track disappear and I won't see it again, but that
For
CD
real,
is
yeah.
gonna be on my desk, right? And the chances of me listening to it again goes up exponentially, especially when I start attaching feelings to that album cover,
Yep.
feelings to that track. So all the stuff we're talking about is just bringing people back to what's already natural, what's already in them. Yo, exactly,
This is
exactly.
Ohm Lounge in Dubai. I don't know if y'all like Ohm Lounge, but this is
Yes.
some dope ass house music right here. But fuck
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, yo, y'all ready? I got the Boomerang soundtrack
yeah,
right here, yo. This is an
yeah.
OG. This is my mom's, I
Oh,
think.
wow.
Exactly.
Woo!
Exactly.
What the
Like, yo,
vibes, the
yo,
vibes.
that album cover brought actual experiences in my head. That's why I connect with it, right? Is
Yeah.
that I see myself listening to. So I literally have to run, but I wanted to make that point that it's not even reinventing the wheel. These are behaviors that are deep within our psyche already and that are
Yeah.
familiar, right? When you give people a way to express something that's in their brewing, man, it explodes out. And I almost value that more than anything. Being impactful is almost better than anything. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. The bread is dope, but
Hey, that's impact. That's measured. That's measured impact.
true. But I love this conversation. I love your vibes. GodCloud, I'm glad I met you. I'm sure we'll run into each other again. Maxximillian, like I'm gonna be pulling up rather regularly because these are
Please
really
come
important
back. Come
conversations.
back.
I will.
Oh,
You'll see me
great.
again. Love and peace to everyone, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Sounds
Peace.
good, Rick. See ya.
Laters.
God Cloud, I'm so glad
Yo.
to see you. I'm glad you made it. Glad you made it. So,
Yeah. Same here.
yeah. So
Busy day.
catch me up. Catch me up. What's going on?
Um, bunch of stuff. So, I mean, I told you about. I'm not gonna talk about the other stuff, playground stuff, but I'll send you some videos. I'm pretty proud of this though, because um, fuck it, I'm gonna talk about it. But
Okay.
yeah. Because like my pops, he owns like a bunch of companies here in town, right? And I was like, so the baby's starting school, and like, fuck it, I'm pulling my nepotism card, like, Dad, like, I need, like, put me in, coach. Like, what's up? What do you got going on? So, he's doing a bunch of like cleanup stuff around like a few of the hard neighborhoods in
Oh
town. And I don't know
wow.
if I ever told you this, but back in the day, um, when I was this is probably like 2013 to maybe 15 or something like that. But one of my buddies challenged me. He was like, "Hey, dude, instead of talking shit online, like, why don't you actually do something?" He's like, "What I do." This is just him. He's like one of the big homies, like Mason drummer, cat named Zon Marshburn. This dude is a freaking wild drummer. One of the few like I wouldn't even call him a local artist, but one of the few like homies that I had who I like really would start like listening to their CD like regularly, like just joints on that. The band was called Wingnut, but they had some dope joints on that track. But anyway,
That's a great
he
name.
called. Yeah, he called me out. Was like, "Hey, dude, like, why don't you actually do something?" He's like, "Dude, every time I go for a walk, I take a bag of the trash bag with me or plastic bag, and I pick up a bag of garbage." He's like, "Every time you want to start talking shit online, do that." I'm like, "Shit, okay." I'm like, "You got me, all right." And I've always had like a relatively decent social media buzz, so I did that and made one video about it. Was like, "Hey, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. Make it be clear. I'm not going back and forth with y'all motherfuckers no more. I'm doing this now." And that tripped off a lot of shit in town. And we were doing it in New York. People were doing it in Europe. A couple other states in town too. I ended up getting honored by the city. It was a whole thing. Um, and we would just pick up trash. We were just picking up garbage all around, hard neighborhoods and everything like that. But I ended up getting hurt, through like wrestling and through some other things. I ended up getting hurt and stopped. And I haven't been at it since, but it's been nagging at me. So all the memories are coming up from
Oh.
Facebook. It's been nagging at me. I'm like, shit, I want to get this shit back popping. I want to get we called it the positivity challenge. Like, I want to get this shit back popping, right? But when my pops got these these contracts to take care of these neighborhoods or whatever, one of the first things we had was this playground, right? In this like apartment complex, like super overgrown with weeds, just a mess, it was just trash. You could tell it was neglected. People who were supposed to be taking care of it weren't taking care of it, So yeah, we've
Rusty
been in
swings,
there. Yeah. It's like really bad. It's like
missing
really
swing
bad,
seats
but
where it's just the chains are hanging down.
yeah. No, you know what? The swings were all intact, but they weren't like
Okay.
wrapped up around the shit. You know what I mean? But it's because the kids can't like really play. So what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like we can't really swing because the weeds are so high. So fuck it, let's just spin it around. You know what I mean? What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're transforming that playground right now, and I'm pretty proud of it. I got before and after videos. So yeah, so that's making me feel pretty good.
Oh,
And
GodCloud,
and
that's
yeah,
beautiful.
and the kids are coming out, and they're like looking. You could tell that they're like excited, like, yo, look at this shit. And the adults
I
are like,
got
yo,
first
it
on the
looks like,
swing. I got first on
yeah.
the swing. Yeah.
Right. You could tell the kids are excited, and I'm like, all right. And the baby, I told her what's going on. She's like, Daddy, can I play there? I'm like, yeah. Once Daddy gets it done, go fucking play. So she's
Aw.
excited about it too. So that's stuff that I have, other stuff other than music and everything that I've been that I have had going on. Damn.
That's great. See, this is the important stuff too, you know?
Yeah, man. It's something that I used to do a lot of community shit back in the day, but then I just got away from it, but it's
But
never
that's
too
all
late to
right.
get back into it, you know what I mean?
It's never too late. And it ebbs and flows. I mean, I feel like the best work we do is when we're inspired.
Right, true that. Yeah,
There's a
true that.
lot of times I want to do something. I say, oh, I could do this. This would be good for me to do, but I have no energy for that activity in the moment. And instead of trying to force myself to do something, that energy is supposed to go somewhere else right now.
Yeah, that's 100%. And that's what I've been feeling with my music too. I think I've just been having to because I even feel when you're creating stuff that you go through like periods where you're really creative and you're just putting a lot of stuff out, right? And I think what's happening there is that subconsciously you are now processing like the last arc of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Because after I put an album out, I'm like, okay, well that's been said. Then I feel blank. I feel like, okay, now I need to live some more. Now I need to live another year or two and gather those experiences. But not only that, but then process all the shit that's happened to the point where I can lay it down, and get it out. So I think I'm in that processing phase right now. Just been there's obviously there's been so much shit that's like gone on, but now I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like wrapping my head around it, like, okay, cool, like now I can start kind of getting the stuff out. And yeah, I made like my first track in weeks yesterday. Just a little thing. I don't know if you saw it, the thing that I posted with the
You want to
with my
play it?
kids singing.
Oh,
Do
yes,
I?
I saw.
Yeah, that. I don't know if I can play it. Do I still have Reason open? Yeah, it's right here actually. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. Let me swipe.
Okay.
There we
You got
go.
long arms. Your arms are longer than the law, GodCloud.
Yeah, they're like selfie sticks. Look at these
You got
things.
go gadget arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the selfie stick, yo.
All right. Oh wait, I gotta turn it up. Hold on. But yeah, yo, and I'm really stoked too because XLN. I don't know if I ever told you about that. That XLN, they gave me all their stuff. They hooked me up with all their shit a while
I,
back.
you're talking about the software?
Yeah,
Yeah,
XLN audio. Yeah.
tell us about it.
They gave me fucking everything. It was fucking great. So
Shout out to XLN.
yeah, fucking love you guys. Fucking XLN. Fucking right here. But no, it's a funny story. And it goes back to NFT NYC, right? So I'm performing, and I don't know if you know Genzo.
Yes.
So Genzo is filming me performing, and I get off stage. He's like, "Hey, real quick, just want to ask your permission." He's like, "I have this thing in my phone. It's like a field recorder, but it sends it to this VST in my computer, and it chops up the audio by the transients, and it makes like a loop out of it." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, bro. Like, whatever. Okay, So when we all get back home, he makes this, little like snippet thing, and he shares it and tags me and XLN in the video. And they come on, they're like, "Yo, this shit's dope." So they end up following me, and I'm like, "Hey, wow, you guys got some cool shit. I'm GodCloud. Good to meet you. This is what I do." So I sent them a finger drumming video. and they were like, "Holy shit!" They're like, "We love this." They're like, "You think you could do some stuff with our software?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What the fuck?" Like, shit, yeah. So they're like, "All right, give us an email." Send them an email, and Maxximillian, they gave me everything that they had on there, and I had no idea. I didn't know that they got down like how they got down, if I'm being for real, you know. But they hooked me up with, you know, it was a lot. It was a lot, you know. It would have cost me a lot to buy all that shit.
Like, what are we talking? Like plugins, sound library? Like, give us the rundown. Give us the rundown.
Yeah, plugins, sound libraries, it's
So,
all of
okay.
it, all of it.
Okay, so this XLN, so is this like a plugin that I could use with my DAW, or is it
Yeah.
standalone, or both?
I think some things are standalone. So they've got a bunch of different stuff, right? Hold on. I'm gonna
Yeah,
You're
you
gonna
can
come
share your
with me
screen
really
if you
quick.
feel like it, by the way.
I am on the phone,
Oh,
so I
okay,
don't.
sorry. No
You're
worries.
good. Let me see if I can reverse the camera. Can I flip this camera? No, I can't.
Yeah.
Well, how do I do that? Why am I
Oh,
struggling to do this?
you're using you want to flip to the back camera?
Yeah. Can I do that? Or
Oh, yeah. I don't know. You should be able to, but I haven't tried it myself.
yeah. No, that turns it off. Okay. Well, here I'll just explain it to you.
Okay.
But they've got bunch of different plugins. They've got drums. They got this program called Addictive Drums, which is really really cool. You know, again, like really meticulously sampled drum kits. You can pull a bunch of different microphones and all that stuff for your for the drums. Um, they've got a piano. I think it's called Addictive Keys. They got a really nice piano plug-in too. Then they have this other thing called EXO, which is this wild VST where they have. Oh, I gotta show you this shit. So hold on. Let me pull this shit up really quick because you're gonna lose it once you see this. But and just the layout of everything is it looks really clean too. But yeah, I have everything in Reason loaded up in Reason. Here I'm gonna pull EXO up really quick, and it integrated really smooth, really really dope. But here. So you see all those dots?
Yeah.
Those are all different sounds. Yeah. So, oh, let me turn it up a bit. So the red is like kick drums. That's fucking crazy, right?
I love that way of exploring sounds. So what do you just
Yeah.
like tap into the one that you feel?
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
can pick them. You
God.
can like zoom in more, and you know, like so. Here, I'll zoom in a bit. See,
Oh my gosh.
what is that? I'm trying to see where it says what it
This
is.
is so hot.
Yeah, I haven't
This is so
used
hot.
this one much, but once I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit!" And oh, and the thing that I made yesterday with my kid singing,
Yeah, in the
um,
shower.
yeah,
Nice.
you know, yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's at the in-laws' house. We got that when we were in Maine. But I was just catching all these field recordings, right? Because you know, like she loves that's she calls that her rapping. You know, she's like rapping. She's just like you know, just rhyming and just saying shit. And I'm like, yo, like
She's
go on
so
with your bad
cute.
self.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
I fucking love it. She's the best. But I took that, put it into the plugin Life, which I did a little rundown on. But here, I'll show you this one. So this is Life. You can go through the different source files here, right?
Mhm.
And you can push randomize or pattern variation, whatever, syncopation, symmetry, whatever you want to do. Chops it up by transients, and it makes it into a beat. So this is what it did with my kid's voice, which is, you know,
Giving me those
that,
James Blake vibes.
yeah, and
Early
that
James
was
Blake.
enough. That shit just got me super inspired. And I'm like, yo, this needs like just a nasty groove to it. And, you know, But yeah, they put that on their IG today, and that made me really, really fucking happy because
Look
I'm like,
at
okay,
you.
I'm like the kiddo's on there too because she's been on the Akai page like 4 times, and now she's on the XLN page. So I'm like, there you go, add it to
Better
the
watch out,
resume,
Bloom
kiddo.
Ivy.
Yeah, for real
Right,
though.
right. That's what's up. No, that's exciting. I got to tell you, so like, when I make music, most of my time is spent searching for sounds. And it's like, oh God, it's like, I'm just like looking through folders and folders. And it's like, I love the searching through sounds like kind of part, but I don't like the experience of doing it.
Yeah,
Right. And so I thought when the Apple Vision Pro came out and there was like a call for like people to create applications and stuff, I said, I'm going to make an application for searching through sound so I can be like Tom
Mm.
Cruise on Mission Impossible and be like, shoo, 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 like
yeah,
anything to get out of that folder situation. That stuff you got there is hot. I like
yeah.
that. Map of
Yeah.
sounds is hot.
It's so cool looking in the way that it looks like like a universe or like a galaxy or some shit too, and you could just go like I'm like, yo, this is so fucking fire. But yeah, and this is stuff that I'll use to make other sound designs with, using that as like raw material, like building drums and shit with things like that. 'Cause they've got all sorts of different like sounds in there, and I fell in love with all the stuff that they've got um, pretty immediately too, because even with just like finger drumming things, one thing that I really struggled to find was realistic sounding kits, because it's cool to do the like drum machine like sounding stuff, but my thing as a finger drummer is to make it not sound like it's not a drummer playing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I think they did a really good. And I, even though I know that they're all from, I think they're Swedish too. So is Reason. But so no offense, Reason, because I love you guys too. You guys are my first love. You know that. But their drum kit like module, it's not fucking with the one that Excellent has. It just, yeah. And I can't, obviously I've done a lot with Reason. Like, I owe mostly all my career and every sound that I made to Reason because I use them. But nah, XLN Addictive Drums, shit sounds fucking great. Sounds like real drums.
Wow. I'm
It's
gonna have to
dope.
I'm gonna have to see if I can use it with PreSonus Studio One.
You should be able to.
Woo!
Yeah, and they got a sale going on now too, so I
Do
think
you have
everything's
a
45% off.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh boy. I'm really excited. So far, like I have like one go-to like for plugins and all the stuff. I'm addicted to like Waves audio plugins.
Okay, yeah, those are good. Yeah,
Yeah, so now I got a second place to dig around into. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it. They got some really cool effect boxes too. They got this thing called the RC20. Let me pull this up.
Yeah.
This shit is also fire. Um, but yeah, I want to do, which I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but I want to do a guitar sample pack. It's just a straight up guitar pack, and I think I might want to use it. Have the RC20 be the uh, main like effect processing situation here.
Is this a
So
tool that you would use live, like in February at our show?
no,
No?
because you know what, live, I don't like bringing my computer.
Okay.
When I play live, I just want it to be in the drum machine, and that's it. That's it.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, but yeah, only because I've had bad experiences with my computer live, and the drum machine's a bit more dependable. But no, like
Oh
peep this,
yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
this is the RC20. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, you've got the different. You got a vinyl effect right here. You've got. I think this is like a delay type thing. Then you got distortion. How do I turn this one? Oh, you just click them. Yeah, Then I think this is like a reverb. I don't know what this one does. Oh, this is like a stereo imager, this part here. I don't know what digital does. Maybe that's like a bit crusher type distortion too, but
Mm.
yeah. And it's pretty dope. Like I forget what you have to do, but you can play Snake on this thing too. I can't
What?
remember. Yeah. You can play Snake on it. I can't remember exactly how you do it, but yeah,
It's
you
out of
can.
everything.
Yeah, you can like put something in. You have to like save it and bring it back up, and you can play Snake on it. I can't remember, but no, I've used this on some guitar tones or some not guitar, just like fucking with different melodies and shit, getting different tones on it, and this is really dope. Yeah, I've been meaning to make a video for it. But yeah, RC20 is fucking fly. And I think you could try it for free too. I said, yeah, go, yeah. Check them out when you get the chance.
I will. Well, I'm definitely going to get the chance because I got to start working on this music stuff, getting all these details worked out. I'll be rehearsing. I'm rehearsing even more hard soon. I've already started doing the squats so I can wear next to nothing for my performance. Yo, I've been looking on Instagram for the secret exercises. You know the ones. I found this trainer and he was showing these leg lifts where you're kicking your leg like underneath like this to build that top shelf booty. I'm working on it. So don't think I got a BBL. I worked for this, okay? I worked for this. But saying, also preparing not only my body but also preparing the music. So I'm really looking forward to this because I'm like, whenever I make a song and I feel like, okay, this is like my first draft of the song, I like to create like different mixes of it. And definitely how I do that is by like incorporating, say, okay, let me try this new tool. Oh, I can do it on this section right here. And I'm looking for new tools because I have not incorporated any new tools for a while. So I know it will totally change up my sound and, give me some new vibes.
Hell yeah. Yeah, me and Paul were talking about that yesterday. I think he just got a new device from Teenage Engineering. And, it's something about when you get some new gear, it just brings a whole new, like, I don't, and I think it goes back to that chemistry thing I'm always talking about. It's a new element added
Yes.
to, which is like you are like the stable, like chemical or whatever, but you add a new element into it. Like, yo, I put new strings on my fucking Jag stand, here. And I tell you, I feel like I got a new guitar, and I've had this thing since like 2002, but love this thing right here. This is I don't know if you know Kurt Cobain designed this before he died, right?
No, it's really, I
Yeah.
was like, that's a beauty.
Yeah, Fender put these out 2 years after he died, in Japan. So if you got one that says "Made in Japan" right there, then you
Ooh,
got one of the OG joints. Yeah, and these
ooh,
are worth
that
quite a
grail.
bit. But yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I fucking love this goddamn guitar. But put new strings on it. Now I'm like all the high school memories are flooding back.
Oh, that's
But
so
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, getting new shit is so fucking dope. But yeah, and if you like the Wave stuff, Waves is fucking tight too. But I know you'll love the RC20.
Oh
It's
my
compact,
gosh.
but it's fly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, especially since I can drag it into my DAW. So, that's the thing too, is like being able to like understand how to use it without getting lost in trying to figure it out, So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And honestly, I just when I was first messing with it, I turned all the effects off. So there's like 6 you can play with. I
yeah.
just left one on, and I mess with that, then turn the other ones on, but mess with each effect at a time, so
Yeah.
I can understand, like, okay, this is what they do. But it's pretty simple, it's like one big knob, you turn the fucker up, you turn the fucker down, and some cool
Yeah.
shit in it though.
Yeah. So, I we're talking earlier and I was asking you about like when you do a live performance and you said you don't like to use your laptop, you prefer to use your finger drum machine. Just curious, so like what equipment do you want and need when you perform? Like and when you perform, do you also like to do a panel? Do you want to do like some type of demo and show anything, or do you want to just perform? Like what do
I
you
mean,
prefer?
I can do that. Like, I be talking. So whatever. Like, how much airtime you want to give me, I'll suck it all up. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, equipment wise, I just need a cable. I need I just need one of these, maybe two, because what I do when I perform my tracks, um, and this is only because I don't like bringing my other drum machine that my Akai Force that I use to like trigger loops and shit, 'cause it's too big. Um, and it's just too much money to take out of the house. But I use my phone to play my tracks off of, like my tracks that I rap over and whatnot. So yeah, I don't think you've never really like seen me perform live, huh?
I've never seen you
Like,
perform live. I've only seen
oh,
recordings of you performing live. I saw a recording of you
okay,
doing your panel that looked amazing, you know. So I saw you on stage doing your demo. That's why I said, "Oh, GodCloud!" Like, if you come, like, I love a live finger drumming performance. We can get the cameras on your hands and also on you as a
yeah,
whole. And then also, I would love before you perform to do a panel, and you can really show like what you're doing, so that when you actually do perform, people know what the fuck they're looking at.
sure,
They
yeah,
can
yeah.
really appreciate what's happening.
No, 100%. Yeah. And yeah, that's all good. That's fine. But yeah, when I do my performance, it's kind of like a hybrid show. And it's only because of the necessity of when I'm switching from, I guess, switching my sets in my drum machine, it takes a minute. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna rap while this fucker loads up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I usually will open up doing some finger drumming stuff. Then I'll rap a track while I'm opening up some new sounds and let that thing do its thing. Done with the rap track, come back, do that, and then branch that over to some more finger drumming stuff. Or yeah, right. What did I say? I can't remember what I just said. But yeah. So I need something to play the drum machine, something to play the phone, and a microphone, and
Right on.
that's it. That's it. Really minimal, setup. I don't like lugging a lot of stuff.
No. Well, we're definitely going to have a projector so we can, do some nice projections to give you some vibes. So
Okay, hell
that'll
yeah.
be, yeah, that'll be really cool. I really loved your videos, eye versus hand. That was really creative, really nice to see that too. So,
Thanks. Yeah, there's a bunch more coming too. There's 5 uh, to the whole series. So we and I think I told you I just got the vinyl. I just ordered it rather, but Axiom did a flip of the visual that I picked, and now I'm like, shit. I'm gonna have to go get another one pressed because I like the one that he made better.
oh my gosh, wait. So
Yeah,
like, did you get one just for yourself, vinyl, or are you like making them available to the public?
yeah. That's what. So each one of the videos is gonna have a vinyl with it, right? You buy the NFT, you buy the video, you get the vinyl. And I was only gonna make one for each video, but because Axiom did his damn thing on the other visual, I'm like, shit. Well, I guess I'll keep this one for me, and then I'll make another one. Um, but yeah. These are gonna be going out to whoever gets the NFT is gonna do a super limited run, so it's only five 101s. Each one has
Wow.
its own corresponding vinyl to it. So
Wow.
yeah,
This is pretty exciting. So like, I hope you're thinking about what you're going to bring for February because I got really excited thinking about Rick and his NFC chips and the vinyl. That's something that I think is really really fun and interesting. I know not that many people have record players these days, but my DJ friends still do. And like real music heads, they still do. And I
yeah.
feel like it's a collectible whether you play it or not.
No, seriously, yo. And I don't. Did I ever show you the one that I did for the George Lopez project?
No, you can show me
No.
that vinyl. Show me that vinyl.
Hold on. Gotta move this stuff. Gotta try not
I
to.
I definitely want to press some vinyl. It's just for aesthetics, to be honest with you. I saw like the beautiful like records. I saw like this red and like these transparent green and like the gold glitter, and I said, "Oh my God, I need to have that."
Yeah,
and my
yo,
music on it.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I had never had my music on vinyl until the George Lopez project, but that was early on NFT days, and this is like my first big project too that kind of got me like settled into where I'm at now and doing everything. But yeah, Sabet did the art on it, and
Woo!
there's me,
Yes,
George Lopez, Sabet, Black Pearl. Black
that
Pearl.
is
But
gorgeous.
but
That's so
yeah,
hot. That's when I first
yeah.
met you. That's when I first. That's about, or just around the time I first met everybody, you and Sabet, and I
Hmm.
saw that picture of you guys coloring in the art. I saw it was
Oh
like Sabet
yeah,
and George, like you guys were
George.
laying in the
Yep.
wrestling ring, right?
No, that
Yeah.
wasn't me. That was Rand. That was Black Pearl. That was Randy. He was the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah, I was still very much freshly on probation during that shit, and I
Oh,
couldn't like,
okay,
I
okay.
couldn't travel yet. It's so fucking funny. Like, I couldn't even travel, but here I am, like calling Sabet and being like, "Yo, bro, like, are you busy? Can you get to this wrestling gym down in downtown LA for this thing? Because we got this NFT project and we need an artist." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Hold on, I'm gonna get you on the call with my guy out there, and get everything set up, and then boom, before you fucking know it, he's out there. News coverage is, the news is covering it and all this shit, and here I am with the fucking
Fancy
with the
bracelet.
travel fucking ban. Yeah, no, I didn't have the monitor then. I didn't have the monitor then. I didn't. That's a whole other story, but no, like, it just goes to show you like that this, anything could fucking happen in this space, especially back then. We were selling these things for $800. So yeah, we were selling these things for fucking $800, and I'm like, wow, that was the first time I ever had a song like on a I guess on like a physical medium sell for something like that. You know what I mean? But
Well, we're
but
trying to
yeah,
run it back. We're trying to run
we're
it
trying
back.
to run it back. Absolutely. So I was
Yeah,
like, I want to do that shit again, because
we
I
are.
love looking at this thing, man. Like,
Me too. It's beautiful. I'm definitely going to press up because harkening back to our conversation earlier about what collectibles Maxximillian is going to bring for February. I
mm-hmm.
love this idea of the vinyl, but the NFC chip can fix the not having a record player situation if the
Mm.
if the album if like the packaging is chipped.
Yeah, right. And how, I'm curious, so when you perform, are you like DJing? Like what? Like how are you gonna, what's your performance setup like? I'm curious.
Yeah, so it really depends on who is available to support my performance. So, like for
Okay.
example, right? And that depends on, so how I'm going to work this is once I get confirmations of who can come,
Hmm.
then I'll figure out what songs I will do if those people want to also perform with me. So for example, when I'm working on this album, I specifically put in some guitar stuff because I was like, oh, maybe GodCloud will play on this. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Okay, I see.
right? So if I know, for example, that you're coming, then I might choose a song and say, "Hey, do you like this? Could you, play on this?" If, for example, Geek Myth or Adabody is coming, maybe Ada might play the keys. Maybe Geek Myth is down to do the drums. It's all the way in February, so there's kind of enough time to to work this. My drums and my keys are really simple. It's not complicated at all. So ideally, if it's just me, I can just perform with a backing track. But ideally, it will be like a backing track with live instruments too.
Okay, dig it.
Because
Yeah,
like, because you'll
yeah.
have your equipment there, you're already performing. Adabody, if he can come, he's already going to have his equipment. He's already performing. So it wouldn't be extra trouble for anyone. Can you play with me? Just do these really simple keys or whatever. So that would be ideal. But otherwise, it'll be a backing track, and I'll just perform like that. And
Very cool.
yeah, because the DJs this time, I'm gonna have my friends who are. I'm just beginning my DJ career. I'm just beginning. I'm just coming out of hobbyist. I'm really looking forward to learning from a master. I have some plans. I have some plans in effect. I do. I have some plans in effect. I have got my teacher who's going to teach me. and I'm going to take lessons from my longtime friend, and he's one of my favorite DJs, Adam 12. So I'm going to be learning from him. And after I take his course and learn from him, then I'll feel comfortable performing live as a DJ. But now I'll just be performing, as a singer, singing.
Okay, dig it. Very cool, very cool. You know what? Like a lot of people don't realize this, but like a lot of like bands are doing, just like what you talk about, like real like instrumentation, but to a backing track. You know, when I was in the last band that I was in, that was pretty big. That's what we did. Like a drummer would plug in to or would plug in the laptop, and he would be running everything. And we had the click going, and half one ear was playing the click and the other ear was playing like all the extra shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, and it's like, we got to make sure that we are dead on, because you don't want the guitar, like the backup guitar, kicking in before we're all going and all that type of stuff. But yeah, like that's the way to go. And I've heard a lot of people like talking shit about bands for doing all that stuff, but that's how it's fucking done, So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, who are these people talking shit? Are they musicians?
I mean, listen, they say they are, but I feel like if you're like my argument was like, hey, where do you draw the line at technology? Because if you're saying that an electric guitar is cool, when you break it down and you say, okay, well, it's a wood and steel mechanism that's amplified by electricity and electromagnets. That doesn't sound very organic. You know what I mean? It sounds like some technology, right?
Yeah.
So they get mad about laptops, but are cool with electric guitars. It's like, well, where's the cutoff? Where's the cutoff for you? If that's the case, everybody should just be singing a cappella and just pounding on their chest,
Boys to men. Let's cover the trash can.
Right, yeah, right. That's it. Everything got to be the opening scene from New Jack City. That's what it's got to be. And if it ain't that, it's fucking fake. It's cheating. And it's like, dude, you better not have frets on your guitar neither, because they're helping you make the tones. That's like auto-tune. That's cheating. But yeah, that's a big argument amongst like these purist musicians, which I'll admit, I used to be that. I used to be like that. But at one point, but I think it was just me being like a rebel against like my dad, who had like synths and drum machines. I'm like, I just play guitar, Dad. And then I'm like, hey, dude, can I use your shit to record?
Yeah, I'm all about having like a peak performance and making sure things work above all. So, yeah. Well, GodCloud, I'm sure you probably have a lot to do today. I know I do. But anything you wanted to chat about before we take off?
I mean, I got another drip drop, but it's all, if you're subscribed to me, you'll be getting this. I did all 3 commons this time around, so it should be happening soon. I don't have a clock. Where the hell? Why do I not have time? Okay, it's 4 something. I think it's dropping in the next hour if it hasn't dropped already. But yeah, all commons. Some of my favorite collabs. Me with DJ Ease, me with A Metaphor, and me with my bro Charlie O. Yeah, cool collab series. All commons. It's kind of like a gift for everybody who subscribes. So that.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to checking it out. And I will be collecting. I went to go collect your drop, and then I was like, because I had crypto. And I was like, oh, dollars? What are dollars, man?
Where'd that happen at? Dollars on drip?
It was your sample pack. It was it was the sample pack we talked about last time, but it's for sale in dollars.
Oh, yeah, on my website. Yeah, those aren't NFTs. On my website on GodCloud.org. Yeah, there's
Yeah. I was like, dollars. Anybody. So listen, everybody, you can easily buy those things in dollars. I just thought I would mention that. I was like, because I was expecting it's going to be NFT, but it was dollars, and it's just like a straight download, very easy.
Yes, yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, I've kept GodCloud.org. Like, I would put links to my NFTs and all that shit, but the sample packs are just, that's like how sell stuff to people. You know what I mean? Not everybody's buying or has crypto. So still very much in the Web2 world of just selling like, hey, yo, you guys like these videos? You want these drums? You can't get them anywhere else but me. People are always asking like, dude, where'd you get that snare? Where'd you get this? Like, motherfucker, I made it. Like, want it? Go buy it. You know? So yeah, the sample packs are all just regular for sale. Sample packs.
Absolutely, absolutely. So friends, definitely like you can get that. And then Drip House is in crypto, yeah?
So kind of. That's in
Oh,
their native token droplets. I think I was explaining that to you
oh,
where
that's right. Okay.
yeah. And this is why when you were saying that how much you had in your wallet doesn't affect our relationship, it's because you can just claim those things. You don't necessarily have to. You can buy them, but you can claim the drop. You get them for free, you know, and then you can just donate whatever you like from the free claims. You feel me? So
So, okay, now,
yeah,
just real quick. So I go on, I follow this link, I subscribe, and do I pay to subscribe?
on Drip, no. On Drip, no. I
Okay.
don't. Yeah. So you subscribe to me, and as you collect the droplets, you can thank me for because I will just give every Friday I give out to my subscribers. I give them something, right? So it's like, hey, here's this. But then I have some other things where you have to donate a bit more if you want to get those things, right? But if you're just subscribed to me, you're getting free shit. You're just getting stuff. And if you choose, you can thank me by giving me a droplet or two that you've claimed from just fucking around on the platform. You feel me? So
Yeah.
you don't have to pay to subscribe.
That's really cool. All right. So droplets are engagement tokens that I get for engaging on the platform with you or any other artist, and they all just accrue in my Drip House account. Is that right?
So every 6 hours, every 5 or 6 hours, you can claim a random amount of droplets.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is really cool. So Drip House has kind of this like built-in engagement incentivization where, so do you know what happens? So what if 18 hours pass? Can I still claim all the past droplets or can I only claim them within
No.
the 6 hours?
Yeah. They don't like build
Oh,
up. They don't build up because I just started uh like fucking around as like a collector. 'Cause it was, I think I was telling you too, it was very different. Like when they made my profile for me,
yeah.
right? And what there was no way for me to sign in to my profile.
Hmm.
I could sign in and be there as a collector, but as a creator, I couldn't do that at that
Oh,
time.
so
They
like,
just changed it.
oh, okay. So before it was like iTunes Music or something. You're just a consumer. You have access to the front end.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Yeah, but you know, like if you are like, you know, working with a distributor, you can release your music and get it on there. But that's two different avenues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just recently was like, well, how do they make it so, you know, first off, how are they getting all these people to like see me and to follow me and to do all this stuff, you know? But what happens is when you subscribe and you're new, they will put in front of you like, hey, if you want to move forward, here's a list of people, pick 3 to follow. Like follow at least 3. So that's how they get you, you know, in front of people as they're coming on, you know. And once you've done that, they're like, all right, click claim to get some droplets. And then you claim your droplets. And I let that time go by, came back the next day. I got 5 the first time, then 5 the second time. But I've watched people go on and people like, oh, well, I got 8, I got 6, you know. So yeah, that's yeah.
Oof, I've been missing out. I got to jump on it. It's so, I'm like, I feel like I wish I had 8 arms and 8 phones so that I could, claim all the things and tap, tap, tap
Yeah.
and get the hamster money and it's a challenge. There's so many opportunities in this space. So, we're really lucky to be living in this time.
Oh yeah. No, seriously though. And it's, you know, it's cool. And I was telling Paul this, and then we can cut it. But I was noticing I was getting a lot of subscribers in platform, But my thing was, I want to see this affect some of the other platforms that I've been building on. When I start noticing that, oh wow, my IG is getting a bit busier, oh my Twitter is getting a bit busier, oh my TikTok is getting a bit busier because of my activity on Drip. That's when I was like, or people start buying shit from the website, I'm like, that's when I'll say that this is really like paying off.
Okay, now
You
you
feel me?
opened up a can of worms now, GodCloud. Because I gotta, you did. Because now look. Because I feel like ultimately it's about, and record sales or download sale. You're selling a product. So like if I was in your position, my metric would be sales. But it surprised me to hear you say that like you want to see your 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 sales move your social media, because I'm looking at it the reverse. I'm like, look, all that social media stuff is just funnels to get people to the page and to the product that I really want them to have, that they can take into their life, because a social media post is not like, it's not something that they can take and own and into their life. So it's interesting to hear you say that. So what is your, you know, why is that your metric to have more followers as opposed to, most of the time you're trying to get people to the sale page and you're like, I want them to go from the sale page to the social page.
Well, because I don't really consider the Drip page a sale page, and that might be like weird to hear that, but so peep it. Like, you're right about the funneling, but I want to see the social media is the funnel. Yeah, I want to see Drip kick people to my funnel, which is the social media down to the website. Right now, Drip, I've got all these people following me over there. Okay. And it's like, all right, that's cool, but like, what's up? Like, what are they doing other than
Because they're owning your fans basically at this point.
Yeah, right. And yes. So I want to see that come over to where I have like the set prices and shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to see
Ah,
them. I want to see them like me on Drip, donate a little bit, because I'll be honest, like when I first got on, I was doing pretty impressive. It was like probably like from like 30-40 bucks a day, but now that is like tapered off like a lot, to where daily I'm either getting from like 20 cents to maybe like $5 a day.
what do you think happened?
I don't know. I don't know if it was just like the honeymoon phase is over or whatever,
Do you
but
have access to statistics?
yeah,
Or
I do, but again, like I don't
is it
know if
because
people
of the,
just.
well,
Oh,
I'm sorry to
go,
butt
what's
in.
up?
I'm sorry to butt in, but is it because the price of Ethereum dropped?
No, because it's on Solana. It's on Solana,
Oh, okay, but like,
so
okay.
yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But again, if they're donating in the droplets, that's not really,
If
like,
you're translating to dollars, it could make a difference. Like, if the price of
sure.
Solana dropped, then your income would also seem to drop, even though your subscribership wouldn't have. So that's why I was just wondering. But
Yeah. And I
I'm
haven't really
curious.
like done like a full like autopsy
Analysis.
on it or anything. Yeah, full like autopsy and that. I don't know why I use autopsy, but analysis is a much better word.
You're
But
like, I know why. I
Yeah.
know why. You're like, the shit is dead. That's why.
yeah, for real.
What
But
happened? Look, cut this shit open and see what's inside.
yeah, no, seriously though. But granted, but this is what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is doing its thing, but I want to see this move traffic to the socials, which then moves it to the website. You know, that's what I wanted to see, because
Well,
that,
what about
what,
what if,
yeah,
what
what's
about
up?
taking
Sorry.
out the middle step? What about taking, because when someone subscribes to you on Drip, do you have access to their wallet address? Do you get their wallet?
Um, maybe. So here's the thing: they just opened up the creator suite to us, so now we can go in and like fuck around a little more. I haven't really. This has been in the past like few days. I haven't really had the chance to like really go in and see who's rocking with what the most. I have seen my leaderboard, but I haven't really been able to get like a full, like analysis on everything yet, which is something that I need to do. But two things. I've got monetized social media. So getting traction there generates dough too. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm getting like, whatever, I think I'm over 10,000 subscribers there on Drip. If I could get them consistently, all of them consistently fucking with my shit, that's dough. And then from there, getting them to buy. So that's why I don't want to skip the middle step. That's why I like the social media thing too.
Okay,
You feel me?
Okay, so now here's another can I'm about to open.
Okay, let's go.
Let me take my bottle of champagne and my knife and just
Yeah.
at the top of that. Okay, so now here's another thing. This is why I was saying let's skip the socials, is because now if you're funneling people to your socials, guess what? Now you got to fight with the fucking algorithm.
Oh,
so it's
yes, of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not that, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like when you funnel people to your socials, now you're back in the rat race again. It's like they might subscribe to you, or not they might, but let's say they subscribe to you, right? I guess your algorithm is like super hot, but that's why I was thinking maybe it's beneficial to skip the socials and just go get them from Drip directly to your website so that you're not arguing with the socials. You can always take them from your website and then push them to socials with some,
that's true too, but I've never really tried to push people from the web, because you want them to stay at the website,
That's what
ultimately.
I would think.
Yeah,
That's what I would think.
you want to get them to, how I always do it is I'm like, hey, I'm doing this over here. Like, here's me on Instagram, but you want the rest, go to godcloud.org. Or, oh, hey, you like these drums, go to godcloud.org, right? But my thing was with Drip, if I'm doing something here with you guys, is that going to make people curious enough to go seek me out at these other places? And
I would go to your website. That's what I'm saying is, like, from your Drip, I want your content. I personally, as a consumer, right? Because I'm a fan of yours, right? If I'm on Drip, I see your thing, I'm going to your website. Now, once I'm on your website, if you want me to go to your socials, because ultimately you want engagement on all your places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking is, like, if I went to your website and I saw like maybe your finger drumming video or something like that, if you had a call to action like share this video of mine on Instagram and you'll get X, or you'll get a thank you, just a thank you, right?
Yeah.
That could get me to do what you want. I'm on your Drip, I go to your website, I engage there, and then I'm incentivized to share your video on Instagram.
Got you.
And it could even be like, because Instagram, the downside to Instagram for me is Instagram is hard to share other people's content except for through stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it would have to be like a story, like a link to your story on your website, and that could take me to your Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. So where I'm at right now is the more emails I'm getting on godcloud.org, the better. Because I noticed that when yeah. So that's why the end destination for me is the website. Because if I can get you to go to the website and basically like subscribe over there, I can't remember what they call it. They call it
mailing
something.
list?
Yeah, but they call it something different. I think it is like subscribing or like joining not something. It's not a newsletter. It's not a mailing list. But basically, that's what happens. You get put into that. And when I have that, when I'm doing new stuff, I can just send out, bam, a big blast to all those emails. And that's what gets me sales and shit. Like if I'm updating something, I know that once a month when I do my blast, I'm going to have an uptick, So having the people go elsewhere and do all that, it's kind of counterproductive when I'm trying to get them to do that so I get their emails so I can hawk them shit monthly. You know what I'm saying? But I totally hear what you're saying. But just the way that I've noticed things flow, it's like to the website and the email, and that's great how you sell them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
How do you feel about wallet subscriptions? Because my thing is, you know, email is still like a high performer in a way, but at the same time, I don't like to check my email. Like I have an email of like GodCloud, you know, you're my friend. You got the VIP shit. You know what I'm saying? When your emails come through, I get a notification, but I can't have
yeah,
notifications for like every email because every time Wave send me an email, I'll be like, ah, you know. So like I have to have an email for like that. And so I know I'm not unusual. I remember one time I asked my mom if I could use her phone, and she had like 1,500 unchecked emails. She's not the only one. You know, people don't really love always to check their email, and so sometimes there's also like a time lag too. So I was wondering, not as a replacement, but as like an option, like have you looked into and how do you feel about like wallet subscriptions? Like for example, for my Galfa, so I have the Future blog, which is where I share like all the music related information. I have objects, which is like, you know, tech and like art that's not people related. And then I have Galfa, which is like fine
mhm.
art that's like, you know, more people related, where you see like portraits. It's more about artist interviews and stuff. And I have an option for people to subscribe with their wallet. And the reason why is because if you want something like as soon as it comes out, get a little notification on your wallet and you have access right there, as opposed to having to check your email.
Sure, yeah,
And so
okay,
for newsletters, I think it would probably be a pain in the ass. But for the I only offer these wallet subscriptions for music drops because it's a
okay.
new song. And so it's like, you know, I'm not putting out a new song every day. So I'm not like constantly blasting people with my personal updates, but it's like a separate subscription that's just for the music drops. What do you think about something like that, so that when people sign up with their wallet, they can still give you their email address, but you know, some people don't want emails and some people don't like to share their email address. They just want the music. But you know, what are your feelings? Would you ever subscribe to something with your wallet, or are you like, no, that's off limits?
Um, like I mean, I guess I would, but I'm trying to think of something that would make me, want to that would consistently make me do that, because like I've got my wallets and everything, but I how can I put this? I hate I don't like going into like the browser in the wallets, which I do it, but I
Okay,
don't,
okay.
I do it. Obviously, we have to. We're in crypto, but personally, me, I haven't really subscribed to anything in my wallet. But I, again, like I was saying, I want to make my website Web3, accessible, and have it be have the integration there too. So if that's something that people are doing, definitely want to hit people there. I think hitting people at as many places as possible is key, Um, and if I think it's a great idea. Have I done it yet? No, I haven't, but I think it's an awesome idea. That's my answer. I love it. I love the idea. Um,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you know, I can feature you in my music newsletter where that people subscribe to with their wallet. They're like, new GodCloud drop out today. Here's the link. And it's right there. So
So
we
how?
can
Yeah. So walk me through how. So I've got all right. I've got MetaMask, right? So where? How does it pop up in the browser? Like, do you
Yeah,
get
so
like?
so you would go to my blog, like Galfa, right? You would go to my
Mhm,
blog, and when you subscribe to the blog, you have an option to sign up with your email or your
mhm.
wallet or both. That's
Okay.
it. And so, you know, if you subscribe with your wallet, the benefits are um, you can choose to have a notification or not, right? But if you do, when I have like new articles come out, and so the way I do it is I compartmentalize the different things. So, like, if you want just music drops, there's a subscription just for that, and you'll only get those wallet notifications for the music drops. I have
Okay.
like I'm Maxximillian Pepavaggio, right? So if you want my Pepe art, see, everyone's not into Pepe art, but if you are, you can subscribe to the Maxximillian Pepavaggio notifications. And anytime I drop a new Pepe artwork, because those are one of ones. So if you're an art collector and I'm dropping one of ones, you want that notification right away because it's just one. And so if I was to send out an email notification when I drop a one of one, it's kind of unfair because everyone's not going to get that message at the same time. Some people may not check their email right away, but if I drop that through a wallet notification, everyone has the same opportunity to get that. And so that's the mission behind it and the idea, and it's just as simple as entering your email address, but you're just subscribing with your wallet.
Okay. And when you get the notification, it comes in as like a MetaMask notification, or yeah. Okay.
Whatever
Okay.
whatever wallet you use. So like if you use Coinbase wallet, then it'll come through Coinbase wallet. If you use, you
Okay.
know, yeah,
Oh,
it'll
all
do a
right.
push notification. It'll say new track available
Yes.
from Maxximillian, and you can tap it or not.
Got it. Okay, dig it. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. No, that's fly. And also too, and I use Wix for my website, but they've got like I can text through it too, so I can like send like a text blast out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just noticed that like the demographic that really like fucks with me, they open the emails, they respond to the emails, but I'd like to open it up obviously to the Web3 stuff too, because like I've been saying, I want to start getting back to telling my story on my website, because just being in Web3 and uh people, especially back in the early days, like people were like paying us to do drops and shit. Like I got paid like a couple thousand just to drop on a platform back in the day, and not this and this isn't even counting like what I released and got paid from on the platform. It was like, hey, will you drop here? Yes. Okay, we'll send you the money, here you go, that type shit. And I got away from GodCloud.org. I got away from really telling my story on my website like how I felt like I should have, and that's what I want to get back and start doing. I want to start bringing the Web3 shit back. And I tell you what, too, like as much as I like Drip and appreciate them, the fact that I couldn't do my eye versus hand drop there like I wanted to was what really made me be like, you know what, like I got to get this shit set up on my website.
How did you want to do it? Because you wanted to set the price?
Yeah, just that. Just because I wanted to say, hey, this is this much money. This is what's up. That's it,
Oh, you open another can. You open that other can. Oh, there's something. Look. There's something that's been really bothering me. Nobody's talking about this. You're like my one friend who I know you don't mind saying things that are unpopular, but I just have to ask you because I feel like I'm the only one. Everyone else be like, rah, rah, rah. What is the deal with all these platforms switching over to become meme coin marketplaces? They're taking our art, they're renaming it something else, and then they're just trying to determine the price, and they're trying to determine the silo.
My kid just stuck up on me. She just scared the shit out of me. Oh my goodness, you just scared me, kiddo. What is that? It's because, again, we're getting away from telling our stories ourselves. And if you leave it up to somebody else to tell your story, they're gonna be like, well, what's in it for me, And if that's not like clear, then it's like, okay, well, shit, I got her, she's up here. It's they're gonna want to knock it off as cheap as possible, and that's something too that I think he's the founder of Drip. He had on his hold on, let me put you down. I don't want you to knock the phone down. But he was saying like, hey, like NFTs are kind of, some NFTs aren't worth anything. It's just is what it is.
Says that? I mean, that's just. I mean, do you feel that's true? I think it's garbage, because if there's an artwork or a music attached to it, it has value. So who is this motherfucker?
Again, this is what happens when we get away from telling our stories. When something, if people don't want to pay whatever for something, it's because there's like a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? Like there might be something like, okay, you might not want the Ichiban Kuji King Cold, prize B. I think it's prize B. You might not want that. I paid money for that shit, because there's a story to to me that I understand to that. You know, you might not just be privy to it. And that's what's happening a lot. That's why the platforms are just like, oh, well, hey, you know, here, just pay what you want. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's all right there, because now I want to take it back to my website where I'm telling my story, where I'm not leaving it kind of up to this platform and me just popping a little paragraph up there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that, and again, with the meme coin shit, in essence, if you look at crypto at the like core of it, it's basically like a casino. It's just basically like, hey, I'm gonna put some money and hope it goes up. That's what people are hoping for, right? Like
Right.
right? So
Except for in the case, for example, like your music, people are they're getting your music. Or in the case of
right.
your downloads, people, that's utility. The music is utility. Or in my case, the art is utility. If someone buys my art, I will send them a print. So there's a utility. And
Yes,
that's why
but
I have an issue. That's why I have an issue with, I spent money to make my art. My music equipment costs a lot of fucking money. My Waves plugins, my monthly
mhm,
subscription that I use for PreSonus, like I'm spending hundreds of dollars every month to maintain my studio so that I can put out this artwork. I have to spend money for the AI tools. I have to spend money for the editing suite. I've got to spend money to make this stuff. I can't and don't want to give it away for free. And so, like in any other business, there's no dentist out there whose prices are being set by somebody else. There's no lawyer out there
right.
who's letting somebody that doesn't know anything about what's put into that determine their prices. So here we are with expensive, products that we invest money to make. Why is it appropriate? It's not. Why is it appropriate for these marketplaces? It's a conflict of interest, is what I'm saying. It's so obvious. And I just don't understand why even artists are saying and pretending and promoting these new business models that, where you or I mint up an artwork, we make it available, and then we don't get to say how much it costs, and then, we don't get to determine how long its life is on the platform before it gets shuffled off to another area, or before, the price is, being downgraded, or it's being upgraded, or the time for its availability is being extended or decreased based on sales. Like that's not appropriate for music. It takes time for people to discover a song. It takes time for people to like discover an artist. And so I feel like, what's happening here and how do we change it? Because I don't feel that this is a situation that's been brought about by people don't want to pay for music. I have yet to meet a person who says, I don't want to pay for music. Like, I never heard anybody
Mm.
say, I don't want to pay $1 for a song. Nobody's ever said that. These platforms are making these new games using our content, and we're paying the price. We're paying. Like, how do we, you know, how do you feel about that? Like,
Well, how do I feel about it? Well, oh, careful, honey, please don't fall. Hold on, sorry. Well, like I think we kind of share the same sentiment about it.
okay.
You know what I mean? And again, like I know that with meme coins. Hold on, honey. Careful, careful, careful. Like with meme coins, there's like a story behind some of them. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it's like, oh, this one is Joe Biden because it sounds funny. Like when you have crypto with no story, that's where you get that kind of meme coin, just gambling culture. And it's been common for people to just post stuff or upload things without really including the story. And
Mm,
when you're thinking about it like that, that's what it is. That's when there's no connection. There is no value. Art without story, there's no. It's hard to make it make sense to us, to me anyway. Like if
yeah.
there's if like like somebody tapes a banana on a wall. Well, what's up? What's up with that? Well, it inspired. I was inspired by the summer where my mom made me eat a bunch of bananas because she caught me smoking cigarettes or some shit. I don't know, something. Just give me a story. Just say something, anything. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, yeah, I can remember that happened to me. Something like that happened to me. You know what I mean? But we gotta, and I keep saying it, and that's because that's what I'm seeing is not here. We are not in charge of our story anymore. Whoa, careful, kiddo. Hold on, honey. That is almost done.
Remember that
What's up?
big watch that you had?
The big watch? Yeah, I don't know where that is, honey.
I want it.
Well, I think you lost it, honey. You might have to go look in the toys. I think it might be in the toys. Big watch. But and again, also too, in that, and it was funny because Paul and I actually broke down Vibu's post in a Toxic Honesty space, I think last week, because he mentions that if you price a piece of art for X amount of dollars and it doesn't sell, that's going to fatigue you mentally and hurt you in the long run. But I'm like, listen, dude, like I've been married to music with rejection as the mistress for however long. So if something don't sell here, I'm gonna repackage it and sell it down the line. And I'm gonna be straight up too with a lot of the stuff that I'm doing on Drip. It's videos that I've put out already, you know, and they've been on social media. They've done their thing, you know. They made me some money off of social media. They made me some money off of getting people to buy sample packs, you know. And I'm like, hey, if I can get some coin off of them here too, that's fine. But again, the story of GodCloud isn't stopping there, nor is it in their hands. I'm allowing it to be in this arena because hey, it's making me some extra dough. And I put those little nickels, those little pennies, I put them into whatever coin and watch it do a couple flips. Hey, cool, gravy. You know, I want some chicken wings. Hey, I'm cashing it out. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think people either don't know what their story is because they haven't really spent that time with themselves. So they're fine with jumping in something like that and letting that be it, you know? So whereas you gotta understand the fact that, like I told you, I had to go through Drip to have them put my stuff out to, you know, they were in control of my profile. So you like understand that I had the conversation about, hey, this is what I want to do for this project. What's up? And we had to break it down to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't think this platform is right for this project because I can't tell my story how I want to. Here.
Yeah,
I didn't say that to him, but basically is what it came down to, right? So pivot. But hey, we're still cool. I still understand who you guys are and what you do. I'll still rock with you on this level. But this thing over here is special, and I want to put it out in a certain way.
Yeah. It seems like Drip is a great, you know, I remember one of my first hustler friends, she taught me like this really great lesson, and she was actually talking about relationships, and she was really talking about fellas, right? And she was like, because you know she's got some years on me, and she got some experience on me, and she was giving me, oh,
I'm sorry, the kiddo's
that's
doing
okay,
something. Yeah, sorry. Keep going.
no worries. So yeah, she was giving me the Galfa, and she said, you know, the real key to having good relationships with people is knowing who to ask for what. That's what she told me. And she said, you know, because she was talking about fellows, she was talking about relationships. She said, you know, she said some of my boyfriends, they're really good for giving me advice. She said when I'm going, you know, through an issue, whatever, I know which of my boyfriends I can call and get some really good business advice, right? She goes, I might have another boyfriend. He's not good for giving advice, but he's good to hang out if I want to go to the beach or do something fun. And she said, you know, the key is not asking the boyfriend who's good for going to the beach for business advice, you know? And I feel like it's the
Exactly.
same, right? It's the same navigating these platforms. And it seems like Drip is like a really great place to uh, share, maybe process videos, maybe a great place to share your work in progress, like a appreciation platform, maybe like a pregame, a place to introduce people where they don't have to buy anything, but they can just like uh, kind of become familiar with who you are as a creator, and then maybe the website purchasing is maybe the next level.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that, you know what? I'm glad you put it like that, because that's what I was hoping it would become. Because I'm not really keen on me putting in a lot of work to get your platform to do numbers. You know,
Right.
you feel me? Like,
Yeah, I do.
I I didn't want it to be like, okay, yeah, we got GodCloud here. Um, he's gonna do, be doing a bunch of stuff. Everybody come to Drip, and yay, here we go. But again, I wanted to be like, okay, hey, you guys are looking for musicians now. I'm one. Let me put some cool shit on there. All right, and again, like it's my older stuff. You know what I'm saying? And maybe some people haven't seen it. Out of, even though I've back in the day, I've gotten like tens of millions of views. There's billions of people on the planet. They have. I'm certain everybody on Earth hasn't seen GodCloud stuff. So I'm like, hey, here's
Fact.
another place for you to discover me too. So once all that's happening, and like I was saying, I needed to see some reflection
Mm.
of people enjoying it on stuff that I've already had going on. On the Twitters, the Instagrams, and the
Is there a
website. You know
direct
what I mean?
link? Is there a
To
direct link
what?
from your to your drip? Like if someone's on drip, is there a link to your socials?
Yeah. There is. I think it's to my IG and Twitter now. But
Oh,
once you get to either of those, you can find my website, fairly easily. And I put it in everything I do anyway. GodCloud.org. I think if you Google GodCloud, it I hope it comes up pretty.
it does.
You know. Okay. Good. Cool. Yeah. So what was I gonna say? So yeah. Again, you got to make this shit part of the story. Don't make this the story. And that goes for crypto too. Like, don't, and this is again why I stopped calling myself a crypto musician, because I felt like I was using that as a crutch to make myself sound like innovative, and be like, yo, like I'm
It
really on
is
the cutting
innovative.
edge. I know, but I don't want to say it. Like, I want you to fuck with me, because it's like, like when the king dresses up regular because he doesn't want people to know he's like a king and shit. He wants people to like him for him. That's why I stopped
Ah,
saying I'm a Web3 musician, because I didn't want that. I feel like that's a crutch, like I feel like people lead with that rather than saying like, hey, here's my stuff, here's my
mm,
music. Because what
mm.
do people talk about when you tell them, oh, I'm a Web3 musician? Well, what does that mean? Oh, well, I put music on the blockchain. And then you're talking about blockchain. Then you're talking about the money that you made from that. And then it's like, oh, well, then your music must be good too, right? And we've been in Web3 music long enough to know that that is not always the case. It's a little wiggly, over here. So that's why I'm like, hey, I took Web3 first finger drummer on blockchain and took it out of my profile. So I'm like, yo, I want you to like me because I'm fucking funny and because I make dope shit. That's why I want you to like me. I don't want people asking me, well, oh, how much money have you made in Web3? So that's always a question too.
And you know
It's like,
what? And
oh,
it's
well,
like you can't fault them for that, because when you lead with money, that's the conversation. It's like I used to tease some of my rich guy friends, right? They'd be like, "Oh, the girl, they just want the money." Say, "Well, motherfucker, you pulled up in a Lambo, waving your money around. What do you
right,
expect?
right,
Not
right.
you
You
can't
gotta pull
drive the
up in the hoop
Lambo."
ride.
I mean, you can drive the Lambo, but I'm saying it's like if you present all this, you can't then fault people for noticing that.
Exactly. And that's what, I want people to be in love with my story, because that's what got me into crypto. That's what let me make money where the hell is my water? That's what, when I first got here, I was telling everybody like, yo, I'm fighting a fucking Fed case right now. Like, I'm fighting for my life right now. I'm an ex-addict. I'm clean. This is me. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm doing everything I can to fucking stay free and take care of my fucking kid. And
So
that's
proud of
what
you.
made people, thank you, I appreciate that. And that's what attracted people to me. And that's how I got the George Lopez gig. Because the one guy heard me telling my story and was like, dude, you've been through a lot. You seem like you know what's up. Let's do something. And boom, here we are all these years later. I'm part of the company. I'm doing all this shit. It was my story that got me to where I was. And I admit I got away from that because I was so about the Web3. I was so about the Web3, like, oh, I'm GodCloud, first finger drummer. Like, oh, I've done web, or I produce NFTs for these people and that people. But then it's like, well, when I start really talking to people and they start getting to know me, they're like, dude, this is way more interesting than any of the shit that you've been talking about, you know. And I'm like, fuck, you're right. You're right. You're right. So, hey, we're back to GodCloud Classic out here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think everybody needs to kind of do. Because then
Yeah.
you get things like, you know, like meme coin music happening, basically. You get Sound XYZ just pimping everybody out, you know?
What? It's crazy. I mean, yeah. The personal stories really matter a lot. One thing, and just wrapping it up, one thing for myself I noticed is people don't really care about the technology except for us musicians. And so I feel like leading with the technology is a non-starter for almost any conversation. Leading with story is always seems to be just so much better. And then, the technology piece, like maybe nobody will ever care,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know?
yeah, think about it. Like, how many times have you had people who, like, fuck with your music, like, just like a listener, complain about whether it's like a wave or an MP3? Has that ever happened? Has anybody ever been like, yo, dude, the fuck? You give me all these, where the waves at? The fucking waves at? Doesn't happen.
No, no, of course not. No, and that's like the main thing. And like, just taking from like uh Bass recently put out some editorial guidelines about how to write about bass, how to write about your projects on bass. And basically, it was like keep the highly technical terms out of the conversation. You know, refer to things in a way that's based on use cases. Make it make sense
Mhm.
to people without making it about the technology. Because for us, we're leading with the technology conversation because that's what got us interested. But consumers don't
Right.
care so much about that at all. So I just, I feel like it's important for us to maybe pull back and maybe put ourselves in the consumer shoes and pretend that we're not tech nerds and see, does this matter? How would I want someone to tell me about their song? And as much as I love technology, if somebody approached me not knowing that I'm an on-chain, person myself, and they were like, "Yeah, my music's on chain." It wouldn't. I mean, like, I'd want to support them, but I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, I want to hear the song because it's on chain."
Right.
But if they came and say, "Hey, I'm a rapper from New York and I rap about food," I'd be like, "Oh, I'm connecting with the food."
Yeah, for real. Right. And that's it. That's it right there. Like, you got it. And that's what, people have gotten. So, because I remember at NFT NYC, like Violetta, I was talking to Violetta about this shit because I like when I entered my villain arc, I had posted all. I was I said that crypto musicians are like, or no, that NFT musicians are like the vegans of crypto Twitter, because they always have to put it in their fucking profile, like it's part of their personalities now, and and I was just dropping like mad bombs and shit, just it's all true shit, but everybody kept on tagging like Violetta in the post, like, hey, like set them straight type shit, like tell them all the stuff that that you've done with you. I'm like, I've seen it. I've been here since she got into the space, and like whatever. But I got to talk to her in person about it, and I told her everything that I just told you. I was like, well, I feel like it's a crutch, and then but she was and never really got to the bottom of it. She was like, but there has to be a way to let people know that we're that we're doing this and that it's a movement. I'm like, yeah, well, let them discover that through your music. Like,
Yeah.
why, if you're hooking people with the thought that they might make some money off your shit, what, that seems kind of like, beyond the point of what we're doing as artists. Because I don't want, like, unless we trapping, unless we going in on like a freaking Whoa.
I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but I'm cracking up
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Real GodCloud classic came back for a second there, you know.
Love the
But unless,
classic. Love the classic.
yeah, but unless we are starting a business relationship, let's say, there should be no talk about how what I am doing can make you money. Unless we're
Mm,
really about to go into business together. But if I'm like, hey, I'm an artist, I got this stuff, you know, I'm making art, you want to rock with it, it should be, hey, I'm so and so, just like you said, you do fuck with this, you know. But when you put that, hey, I'm a Web3 musician, that's what I feel like you're doing, you know. And again, like, and that's where the conversation left off. Like Violetta could not tell me something that like this is why we say that and this is what is the reason, you know, and nobody has been able to so far. Nobody has been. Um, and
yeah.
again, if you want to call yourself that, that's fine. But
I
I'm a
don't feel like
musician,
it's a
dog.
great. Yeah, I don't think it's a great selling point, except for to stand out, but does it help? I don't know. But there is one aspect that I do like, and you know, if someone says putting my music on Bitcoin, that's interesting, but it's not related to the music. It's more like, you know what? Maybe that's like part of the story that goes on the artist's biography, like about your mission, you know? Maybe that's not part of the story of the music. Maybe that's part of the story of the person.
Yeah, you know, and I very much, I'm very much proud of the fact that I got the first finger drumming video on Ethereum. You know,
You
I'm
should
super
be.
proud of that. That's like, and the best thing too is that it happened on my kid's first birthday too. So on her first birthday, I fucking did that. And I'm like, damn, I'm fucking proud of that shit. And the fact that I was able to go to court in front of a fucking federal judge and be like, hey, don't send me away to fucking, you know, to the Fed because look at what I've fucking done. Like
Keep me
I've
out of the gulag, Judge.
yeah, like I've accomplished some shit, you know. But again, that adds to my story. That's something that is part of what I've done, but still, I don't want to lead with just that because you need to discover that. Because I feel like in discovering that, reading about the accolades, it's you know that's something. Um, but even yes, exactly what you
GodCloud,
said. It should be part of like the saga, you know.
yeah, you just gave me an idea. You just gave me an idea. Transient Labs.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So, Transient Labs has a token that you can add your story to it. You can keep adding story like text and images and stuff like that. It's called the 7160. Are you familiar with it?
Okay. No.
Okay, and if you would like an introduction, please let me introduce you. But I would love for you to do a 7160 token, or maybe you want to do an 1155. But they have this feature called
Mm.
Story, and it allows you to like add your story because you have a saga, and we keep talking about your story and your evolution and all these different things. This token's really cool because it's like a timeline
Yeah.
that you build.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds dope. I think I have heard of that
Yeah.
now that you mention it because it's similar to the 1155, right? Because you can keep on like tacking stuff on, kind of, right?
Well, so Transient Labs has all these different smart contracts. They got 721, 1155.
Hmm.
They got all these different ones, but no matter which one you choose, you have this option to add this feature called Story. And
So you can add it to. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
yeah, and it allows you to like add a story. So like you drop the token, now the token has a description and a title, okay? But on the other side of that same page, you can add some story. It's like a journal.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, so like it's a place for you to add context that's not in the description of the artwork.
Ah.
And
Yeah.
if you want, you can add story without, I think, adding new assets too. It's like it's really something special. And just listening to you talk about your story, and it's constantly evolving. This could be something really amazing, like for your collectors, like because it's about you as a person. And you can still include like your art and these different things, but I would love for you to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. So I think I met. Someone from Transient
Merve? Was
Labs.
it Merve?
Yeah, maybe it was a long time ago. Because
I know Merve and Daniel over there.
okay, yeah, it was a woman, I think.
Merve,
Um,
probably, maybe.
okay, yeah. But I haven't used them or anything. Used the service or anything. But no, that's cool. I want to start putting my story down on, because even like
This is
my
the
fucking
place.
my PO is like, dude, you need to write a fucking book.
Yeah, you do. You
But yeah,
do.
putting it down there, I think would be fucking wild, you know. But yeah. But get the story. We got to get back to the story, folks. That's if y'all take anything away from me, this conversation, get back to telling your story, y'all. Tell
Back
that
to the
fucking story.
story. 100%. GodCloud, it's been real. It's always wonderful hanging with you, and I'm so grateful for the extra time that we got to share today.
For real, for real. I feel like we be getting into the guts of the convo, yo. It's
I know.
super
I'm
deep,
always
yo.
like, I'm always like, oh, I hope GodCloud will stay behind. Yeah.
Yeah. About to be talking about that real shit, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, but we need those conversations. And there's sometimes I can't tell you how many tweets I write and then delete GodCloud. I'm like, oh, that sounds too hot, sounds too spicy, but because sometimes I see these things and I want to say something, I want to talk about it, but I also want feedback and not necessarily the kind that you get off Twitter.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna tell you this. Just fucking say it, tweet it, get it out. Go watch. Go look at my TikTok. Go look at my TikTok.
I think I need to make my TikTok my trash talk place. That's what I started actually, because I be compartmentalizing my stuff. TikTok is gonna be my trash talk spot.
Yeah. That's where I do all my political posts.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Maybe they be like, you fucking lived. Yeah. But that's where I fucking go in on TikTok. But it's cathartic to get that shit out too, because I shied away from the politics for a long time, but I'm like, I'm a fucking artist, yo. Like I was, I gotta hit y'all with this shit and bring in information and all that stuff too. But yeah, get it out. Don't leave nothing untweeted, untwote.
I'll be posting. I'll be posting. Well, God Cloud, it's
Get it,
really
get it.
nice spending time with you. And when are we going to see you next? What's your next show?
Next show, I think next week Wednesday, Toxic Honesty, 5:30 EST. Be
All
me and
right,
Binks
that's
in the
2:30 PST.
yes, in the Token Smart Discord. So yeah, see everybody then.
Right on. Peace. Wonderful
Peace.
seeing everybody. Wonderful seeing everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. And I look forward to seeing you next Friday. Join the Cabal. Join us.
Cabalin'.